What we done started. Look at what we done started. This the people party. Peace and love, party people. It's Talib Kweli, the BKMC, the MCEO, the Little Lebowski Urban Achiever. We are still in Miami right now. We are live from Juicy Juice Bar. Not in Miami, but in Hollywood, Florida. Right. You know what I'm saying? The real Floridians know the difference. You know what I'm saying? And we're here for a reason. This is a family establishment. We're not just here to get juice. We're not just here to get the juicy tidbits or the gossip, because we're not about that gossip. We about that real hip hop. And to borrow from my cousin, my sister podcast, we are here to give luminaries their flowers. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves, because today's episode of People's Party is a special one. It's almost like a crossover with another podcast. You know what I'm saying? This guest today is hailing from Left Rack City in Queens, New York. We're going to talk about Queens, his journey from Queens, New York, all the way to Miami, all the way to the top of the charts, has led him to the upper echelons of hip-hop royalty. He started his career as half of one of the most important duos that hip-hop has ever seen, Capone and Noriega. They graced us with classic albums, War Report, The Reunion. He ventured out as solo. He didn't skip a beat. We got Super Thug. We got Nothing. We got Grimy. We got Oye Mi Canto. He showcased his versatility. He worked with all different types of producers, from Easy LP to Swiss Beats to the Neptunes. Matter of fact, a lot of y'all even started checking for the Neptunes on the production tip because of this man. Never content to just be right where he was at. He always strived for bigger and better. He's a storyteller. He transitioned seamlessly into the world of media as the co-host, shout out to my man EFN, of one of the most legendary podcasts of all time, Drink Champs. He's given us unparalleled insights into the lives and the stories of hip-hop and music's finest, from tracks that have become anthems, collaborations with the greatest MCs, the greatest producers. This man has come from the streets to our hearts. You know what I'm saying? It's not just an interview, it's a conversation, it's a celebration of a legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my man, Jose Luis, Podcast Poppy. Noriega.
Yes, man. Thank you. I usually giving the flowers. I'm not used to receiving the flowers. I'm sitting over here nervous and shit.
Yeah.
Like, because I always was a guy to, like, you know, I didn't make up the phrase give flowers, but I feel like I made it hot in hip hop.
Yes.
Because I felt like, one, sorry, guys, I knew this wasn't a question.
No. This is what we need. This is the energy we need.
But, like, I always felt like it doesn't take nothing away from me as a man to show you how great, you know, the next person is. So that's something that I take pride in. You know what I mean? Because me and EFN knew we wanted to give a platform that, once we built it, to legends. But I want to even give it to people who may have not have as much success as me, who may have not been, you know, who might not have platinum plaques. Because you don't have platinum plaques or you didn't go gold, that doesn't mean that you're not still a legend.
Right.
That you're not still important, that you're not still in this game. And I just feel like it's catching on now. I feel like everyone else is they want to give people their flowers now. Everyone wants to give people their flowers, but go Google 7 years ago. Nobody did. Everyone was hating on each other. And we were like, yo, we wanted to do that. And it's so beautiful, like, to have somebody like Memphis Bleak come on the show. And then me just see Memphis Bleak out every week after that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Me have, like, Mike Geronimo on the show, and then to see Mike Geronimo, like, you know, being important, going everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I take pride in that. I take pride in, like, you know what I mean? Like, having Special Ed on. And although, like,
and getting them into arguments with
although,
the whole of the West Coast.
although I didn't know that part.
Shout out to Dollar Cab Productions.
Yeah, I didn't know that part, but we wanted to give Special Ed his props. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
And
he's from my neighborhood.
Yeah, and that's really what it's about. Like, our generation, we are superheroes. Before I got here, I was watching this John Gotti documentary. And this lady was describing him as a superhero. And I was like, oh, shit. And I was like, so who was the next superheroes after? And you know who it is?
Rappers.
Before and after.
Yeah.
We've been superheroes, but this was mob figures. And I'm like,
Is that there's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
There's a thing about old New York. I don't remember the name of it, but they talk about how Gotti was in the neighborhood.
Fair City.
Fair City. That's what it was.
Yep. I saw that too. Yeah, I saw that too. But it let me know, like, I don't know if I ever said this, or maybe I did. I'm not sure. But there's an incident that happened in Hot 97. I was not there. But I'm eating dinner one time. This Italian guy comes up to me. He buys me a drink. He's like, whatever it was, or he sends me something. And he's like, man, I want to thank y'all, but I don't know what he's talking about. So I'm like, all right, cool, because I'm just thinking he a fan. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, no problem, man, thank you. But the whole time, he was looking at the Hot 97 paper. And what he was basically telling me is, you rappers took the light off of us.
Took the heat.
Because our tax bracket was changing, and our tax bracket was either going to them or even more. And I didn't realize I got dissed to my face.
It was like the Godfather movie when it's like, you know, we don't sell that. We let the niggas do that.
Yeah, it was almost that to the T.
Yeah.
Like I realized he was looking at the paper, and he thanked me for him thinking that I was as ignorant as the paper read. And that's what he said. He said, I wanted to thank you. And it was crazy because I'm watching the Gotti thing now, and they're describing him as people in the neighborhood as a superhero. And I'm like, damn, yo, we the new superheroes.
Right.
Like, we are. Like, yeah, but.
Now, you brought up that Hot 97 thing, which you've spoken about many times, and you wasn't there, so of course no one could hold you accountable for what's going on. But, you know, it fractured relationships in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And you and I are both friends with Foxy Brown. Shout out to Foxy Brown.
Foxy. I love Foxy.
CNN.
NCs.
Yeah, shout out to Lil C. CNN, especially when Capone came home, just from a fair perspective, because I didn't know y'all back then like that. Part of the CNN thing was brash, real, aggressive. Like the record that Foxy Brown is on is we gonna thug this shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you was outside of New York at the time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit was going down when that record was playing. It wasn't just about whatever issues Foxy and Kim had. You know what I'm saying? But I love the fact that I've heard you speak about, in more than one occasion, Busta Rhymes has put you in a position for you to have closure on certain situations. Like, you spoke about how Busta Rhymes brought you around Kim for the first time after that incident. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I went to a Busta show. You know, to quite frankly answer the question just blunt and as honest as possible, I wish I didn't get involved. I didn't understand females' beef. I didn't understand how females, they're different from men. Females will really take it to that limit. And I didn't realize, like, I love Fox. That's my sister. She can call me anytime. I'm going to pick up. I'm going to text any time of the night, whatever. But I wish I didn't take that stand. What happened was, it's very simple. Mobb Deep had, hot damn ho, here we go again.
Right.
And we like, oh shit, they're killing them. We're in our fake competition with Mobb Deep. Not real competition, because we see each other, we give each other's fives, but you know.
Right.
So we're like, all right, cool, let's get Fox. Fox came to that studio with vengeance that night. We couldn't stop her if we wanted to. She had like 16 rhymes. And believe me when I tell you the one that we winded up with was the least disrespectful.
It was very...
And that was, listen, that was disrespect, but it was the least disrespectful. And I didn't know at the time, Talib, to keep it real with you, I didn't know that if you get on my record and you diss somebody, that people get mad at me too.
Right.
I thought at the time, like, oh, okay, that's for between girls. But then it trickled down to all this other thing. And it was probably, that's a couple of other moments, but it's probably one of my most embarrassing times of hip hop, because Big called me to get on TONY remix. Like, I always cry when I watch Big movie. And it's like he's making these calls at the end. Like, just calling people randomly, like, hey, how you doing? You know, blah, blah, blah. I know for a fact, I was one of those calls. I remember Big calling me and playing TONY, me, because it wasn't out yet. Nasheem Myrick's had played it for him. So I remember him saying, like he actually, I think he kicked half of the rhymes in me. And I was just like, holy shit. And I was so stupid. At the time, I didn't put Nasheem Myrick's with Big. So I asked Big, I was like, how did you get that record? Because the record hadn't dropped. So I was just like, you know, back then, everyone was bootlegged. And I didn't care that Big said he had a verse for me. I was so scared to being bootlegged. And so I say that to say, like, had Big did that, that would have changed the trajectory of our career at that time. And he was willing to do that. He was willing to listen to some well, we had LALA out. He didn't want to co-sign LALA.
Oh, yeah, I just spoke to C's about that. Big was definitely on that. He didn't want to open up the wounds more than it was because he wanted to keep the lines of communication open.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like he actually, I seen him at the tunnel, and he told me like, "Yo, I'm not gonna use that because it's LALA was for a Bad Boy mixtape. It wasn't an original record. It's for a Bad Boy mixtape."
And you talking about this is Big had heard the original version with the dun-dun.
Yeah, he heard the original. We wanted his cosign. Like it was
because y'all was trying to put on for the city as well.
We was trying to put on for him particularly. We wanted him to be like, yeah, motherfucker, yeah, you representing the city. It was the exact opposite. He was so smart for his age. Like when you think about it, like he was like, nah, I don't want to participate with that. Like what they accusing me of, I ain't do. In hindsight now, that shit makes all the sense in the world. Yeah. Let me get a napkin. But
he was operating like a grown-ass man in his early 20s.
In his early 20s, like 24, 22 or something like that. Thank you, bro. Yeah. So, so good look at that. All right, everywhere. Yeah, so that was funny.
That's a lot of love. That's
funny.
Shit.
Yeah, that's funny.
Let me get a napkin.
That's funny as hell. But I say that to say that was embarrassing for me because like if Big was alive, let's suppose Big was alive and he would have did T.R.N.Y. Like that would have been my dog. Like that would have been this relationship formed. And the fact that we went, like they crew went at us and we went at them, it's something I regret. It's something I regret.
Well, I think, there's a certain amount of that street energy that y'all were participating in at that time, a certain amount of, in order to get to that level of, because you got to get to a level of callousness to even participate in some of that shit. There's a certain energy around CNN, and not just CNN, but a lot of the street groups at that time of like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And it's aggressive and it's hip hop and it's like, yo, that's just hip hop. It's spirit of competition. Competition when you're younger is different when you're older. When you're older, you looking at competition like, well, damn, if I win, somebody got to lose. And do I want my black people to lose? Yep. But when you're younger, you looking at competition like, nah, fuck that.
You know what's the funniest part about the whole thing? I know I said this, I might have not. Prodigy didn't want his verse on the record.
On the LALA.
Prodigy actually laid his verse. He was the only person, because no one could tell that we was going at LA or not. Remember, they got on their record, they was like, yo, B, yo, God.
Right.
So we got on, yo, and we whatever.
What a fool.
Yeah, we did whatever. So, but we not dissing.
No, my dudes right here, these dudes who with me, they both from California.
Oh yeah, so they know.
They never heard it before.
Okay.
They was like, wait, this is how NORE stars coming?
By the way, I wasn't ready for none of that drama. Like, I remember a dude from my hood saying, man, you going that Suge? Nah. Like, we didn't know what the hell we was doing, but ironically, the funniest part about it is, I remember they calling and saying, yo, Prodigy doesn't want to be a part of the record anymore. He had a verse on it and it said, JFK on my way to LA. So out of everyone else's lyrics, no one lyrics was going at them. No one was dissing them. That's my car?
It's Vinny Cooper right here.
That's gangster alarm coming on. This is just organic shit. Organic. Yeah. So I remember them calling and saying Prodigy doesn't want to be on the record. I believe if Steve Rifkin called himself, because we had a relationship with Loud, a great relationship. And I remember we had No Rings. It was on Penalty Records.
Right.
At the time, Penalty is not the conglomerate it turned out to be eventually. So, Neil Levine was kind of like scared and was like, nah, we can't put out Prodigy's verse. So we left Prodigy on the hook, but we took his verse off. And I remember the day we shot the video, they also said Prodigy's not coming to the video. I remember me being so pissed.
And this is your first time in the industry.
This is my first time. And I didn't know that this is how this works. Like, people got to clear a record. I thought I'd just get a verse from you and I just throw the shit out. I didn't know I had to clear. I got to get your signature. I got to get your manager's signature. I got to get the label's signature. So I remember we shooting the video. They're like, Prodigy's not coming. And then, what was that record that Hit 'Em Up drop?
Right.
Prodigy's at that video the next day.
Word.
I remember, like, we didn't even talk about it. Like, he just showed up at the video set, and it's like, this is a monumental time in hip hop. Like, I remember me regretting though, like, damn, Tupac ain't diss me. Like,
you ain't get that diss. Yeah. We just spoke to C's. I was like, yo, Tupac dissed you like 3 times on that one song, bro. You really had an effect on that.
Yes, that's kind of like dope if Pac was this. I was like, you missed me. Like, I'm over here. Yeah, I remember that. Like it's just, and the fact is, I never got to meet Tupac. So I always vicariously talk about Tupac through the podcast, but it's really because I'm curious.
Right.
Because one thing about Pac is, if I ask you about how Pac is, you'll have an opinion. If I ask Tretch how Pac is.
But you spoke about how Capone is from Queensbridge, you from Left Rack City.
Yeah.
You know, let's go back to the era when you used to snatch Lee patches.
Yes, yes, no problem.
And talk to me about Left Rack City and the fact that in your adult life, you grew up to the point, your life is so crazy that you actually know Samuel Left Rack.
I'm going to this party tomorrow. I'm going to Sam.
You know the owner of the project that he grew up in.
I'm going to Sam Left Rack party. I think it is tomorrow. And you know, Queensbridge is just like any other projects, is actually owned by the city. It wasn't until I got older that I realized that I don't live in a project. I live in a complex. But this complex is owned by somebody. So, which is dope. Like, I look at Left Rack now, like, it's getting better and better and better and better. Meanwhile, I look at certain projects in New York City, and it's getting worse and worse. I remember me meeting this woman in Queensbridge, and she not knowing she lived in the hood. She heard shootouts every night. She seen people get mugged. But the projects at that time respected their elders.
Right.
They respected their elders so much so that I had to tell her, you live in the hood. You understand? That's how we were back then. We really held the doors for ladies. That shit was amazing to me that I had to speak to a woman. There's a woman like that in 40 Projects too. Who just, the people was just so respectful back then. And life has just changed so much, man. Like I can't, like sometimes I listen to these new artists' records and they're dissing the dead.
Yeah.
And they're saying about what they doing. Like, I'm the wrong person to judge, right? My whole first 2 careers or 3 was based on me saying what I saw. Most of the shit I did, I remember Tragedy had to tell me that one day. Tragedy was like, yo, you don't have to keep saying everything you did. You could exaggerate a little bit.
Right.
And I didn't think that was cool to exaggerate. I just wanted to do, and when I listen back to my fucking music, I'm like, holy shit, what was wrong with me? Like,
yeah,
like I literally says that. I'm like, wow, damn. Like, wait a minute, man. I was not happy. Like, holy shit. Like, it's just like, holy, and it's crazy because it really is like 2 different people. Like, am I still that person? Yes. But I've seen life now. I've seen that I made the war report for people in Left Rack and Jamaica, Queens, and Queensbridge. I never knew somebody in Brooklyn would even listen to my shit. I thought my language.
It was just right where you saw it. It's right was in front of you, and that's it.
I remember there was no social media. There was no way. Like, all you motherfuckers that be like, The War Report was classic. Where was y'all at when the War Report was at? It was out, motherfucker.
They wasn't. You had to be down by law. You had to know. You had to in order to be into the War Report, because I had the War Report and I used to listen to it all the time. Like, I'm not faking the funk out here. Like War Report and Reunion stayed on constant rotation for me. But in order for me to do that, I had to be living in New York. I had to be listening to Hot 97. I had to be listening to mixtapes. I had to be going to holla at girls in Queens. I had to be going to Queens Day, to Harlem Week. You had to be immersed in the culture to know
you're right.
How important that album was.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But that's why when people see me now, they be like, hey, man, the War Report is my shit. I be looking at them like, man, I'm not sure. like for real, because we didn't see it back then. And back then, like I didn't know I was successful until NORE album. And I say that to say, I felt like I made Pharrell secondhand successful. I am not the person to take all of Pharrell and Chaz's accolades, but I was a person that I walked in Sound on Sound studios. And I remember Sound on Sound used to have a Private Eyes. It was the strip club right next to it. So I used to always go on Sound on Sound. I was looking Private Eyes first, like, hey, wait a minute. Let me see if I see a little bit, right? And then I walked in, and Pharrell, like, he when I tell him this story, he puts his head down.
Right.
Because he's trying to be humble, even though he's really not humble. But
I mean, you just came from seeing Pharrell at Louis Vuitton and Monaco.
So he says, well, I ain't see Pharrell. I sent the guy that was cool with him.
Okay.
But so he says to me, the first person that listened to me is gonna be number one. And I remember because we had heard about like Neptunes, like there was little whispers and things, but I felt like I was the first person for him to try to get on the record with. Like he would produce. He didn't want to produce and then get on the record with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I felt like he produced that record. And I remember, like this is a funny story. I remember he was the first producer to take How I Count Bars and make it a hook. Every record that I recorded up until that point had that same hook on there. That's how I count bars. What, one, what, two, what, three. So I would do it 8 times, and then I would go to my next verse. Because remember, I was guard body at that time. I never wrote rhymes in the studio. I had them shits in my heart.
Right.
And
you started writing in jail.
Yeah. So Pharrell was the first person to understand that was a hook. That wasn't counting bars. That was much more than that.
Yeah, I understood where the Neptunes was going at. A lot of people don't know this about my history, but at that time, right when you was working on Super Thug, Khalees was my best friend.
Oh, wow.
And I was up in Harlem with Courtney Brown and Khalees.
Let me get some.
And when I Hate You So Much right now, in that era when that was first popping off, like, you know, and then, you know, Pharrell produced on my album 2004 on Beautiful Struggle. He did Broken Glass.
Wow.
The Neptunes, not just Pharrell, but the Neptunes.
Neptunes, yeah. I'm sorry, Chad. I gotta always keep saying the Neptunes. I keep forgetting, man.
Yeah,
I'm
shout out
sorry.
to Chad.
I love you, Chad.
I remember when Pharrell sold me that beat. When I hear stories of how Pharrell did the other beat people. I remember him being, you know, in the studio. We was in Record Plant in LA.
Record Plant, okay.
Yeah, and he was like, you know, jumping on tables and really selling. Jimmy Iovine
like
was in the room.
That was Dr. Dre's studio. Yes, Jimmy Iovine, yeah.
And so, no, but it's not a lie. It's absolutely factual to say that as talented as the Neptunes are, the Neptunes is one of the greatest hip hop production duos of all time.
Of course,
they was gonna make it with or without NORE.
Yes, I wholeheartedly believe that.
They was gonna make it, but the first time people checked for them was Super Thug.
Yes,
and then Grimy, and then.
I wholeheartedly believe it was Oh No. It was Oh No. It was Super Thug. I remember, I swear to God, and I know it's gonna sound crazy, but I remember taking Pharrell to Jay, to Nas. I remember after Oh No, and Big Tigger denies this. No, he doesn't deny it. He doesn't deny it, he just doesn't address it. I remember I presented Oh No video, and I just spent fucking $850,000 to like a mil with Hype Williams, and I present the shit to Rap City, and Big Tigger says to me, "You should stop working with the Neptunes. All of their beats sound the same." And I remember being so offended by this. And Tigger's my man.
Right.
He's Rap City. He's basically telling me, I don't think I'm gonna play your video. And
I don't think Tigger was wrong in his assessment in terms of the Neptunes have a production style.
Yeah, style,
when
just
you
like
hear,
Primo.
When you hear Neptunes beat, you're like, that sound like the Neptunes.
Yep.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad, but I remember me believing in, I was like, I'm not.
Tigger's a gatekeeper at this point.
Yeah,
Rap
he's a
City is
gatekeeper.
big thing.
And I didn't know that Tigger had a PD. I didn't know that he had a program director. I didn't know that people told him what to say. So in my mind, when he's saying this to me, I'm saying, holy shit, I'm never gonna get played on Rap City. You know, I'm never gonna get played on The Basement. And I was so glad that he's wrong. I was so glad because I wanted to be like, yo, like, Pharrell, work with somebody else. Like, work with somebody else. And then I remember him starting to work with other people because they just thought it was my chemistry with the Neptunes at first. And especially with them being on the record. Because remember, I believe that they did Rum Shaker. They worked before.
Yeah, because they came through Teddy Riley.
Came through Teddy Riley, but no one had put them on the record. And I remember that video like it's yesterday. That's why I know Pharrell and you got Eldon VMH and all that shit. I'm gonna send you the clip of the Super Thug every week. Every week to remember your humble beginnings. It changed my life.
Like Super Thug is such an important record to hip hop.
Right.
But knowing anything about it sounds like a Neptunes record.
Yep.
Grimy sounds like a Neptunes record.
Yep.
Nothing sounds like a Neptunes record.
Yep.
But it's like the Neptunes are such good producers that these also sound like NORE has to rhyme on this.
Yes.
It always sounds perfect for where you were at.
Yes.
Not just lyrically, but career-wise. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So it's so beautiful because I know it's always Pharrell giving it up to me, telling me that we was like the first people to work with him. And I think he said it in a rhyme. It's like, yo, Noriega gave us help. But I just wanted to say something to wherever they guys are at. Y'all changed my life too.
Yeah.
Like I remember the War Report had no South shows.
Right.
Like you could just listen to the War Report and be like, niggas in Atlanta ain't fucking with this.
Right. Right.
You could just listen and be like, LA maybe. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you had, like you said, you had to be a part of the culture. When I did Super Thug, it was my first commercial success. Like I started to get shows in different places and I started to open up to the world. Because remember, my first record before Super Thug was NORE. NORE were #1 in New York. I was like, I'm good.
Right, I'm good.
That's, at the time, New York, we ran the world. Like we were some spoiled bastards. Like, so if you was #1 in New York, you was #1 all over the country. But I remember me doing Super Thug, and I can remember this like it was yesterday. We had a DJ meeting where we go, see back then, both stations or all stations could come in the same room. They ain't have beef. They wasn't gang tripping. You know, now they tripping. But I remember me playing it for everybody. And I remember everybody saying, record's never gonna work. It's too dark. Mind you, they don't know Pharrell and Chad is in a t-shirt. They're the furthest things from a thug. Right.
They don't know about the NERD.
Yes, this wasn't out at the time. So people were hearing this beat. Now it sounds cool because you know why? They said it's too dark. So you know what I did? I went and shot the video in Vegas. And I purposely did not one nighttime scene. I purposely handpicked. I said, okay, I'm gonna change your mind. If you think, now you think of Super Thug, you think of the desert. You think of me running around in a camel. You think of me jumping up. What? I have leather. I don't know what was wrong. I thought I was Eddie Murphy. I had the leather short set on. I don't even think a short set and leather go together. But you know what I mean? But I was like, all right, cool. But now when you see it, you think brightness. But
Science right there. That's
but
science.
if you heard it, this was an unfamiliar sound at the time. And I was so related to like Havoc and like Primo, like or these type of dark producers that these people thought that Pharrell was a tough guy. They thought this Chad Beats was probably like running around with chains and bats. And meanwhile, this is the exact opposite. But I was trying to keep that away as much as possible. until the video dropped. And when we had the video, I just knew. I know it's so easy because I went to, like I said, I went to 50 Cent show the other day. And you know, I was the first person to work with 50 Cent.
Yep.
I was the first person. So it's so easy for me to say right now, I knew what 50 is going to be. So it's so easy for me to say I knew that the Neptunes was going to be this. But it's not easy when it's the truth.
That's right.
It's actually documented. Like, I went and I saw 50 perform on stage and I saw Busta Rhymes perform on stage. I had to leave. I cried. Because, I did. I cried because I was like, damn, I really did see the beginning of this shit. You know what I mean? And, you know, Busta's one of my closest friends. And he out there still doing his thing, busting these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting back like, really? We're in Nice. I didn't even know how to pronounce it at first. It's like, we're going to Nice. No. No, it's called Nice. Because it's Nice, motherfuckers. Because it's Nice. And we were in Nice and I'm watching Busta Rhymes and Jeremiah perform and 50 Cent tear it down. I'm talking about tear it down. And pardon me to say this like this, but when I turned and I looked, there was very seldom of these, of my people, of my color. But guess what? They loved it just as much. And and then it made me think of Biggie. Did you ever think that hip hop would make it this far?
That's right. That's right.
Like this was emotional for me. Like I was looking like, yo, we made it. And then it was crazy because I did Wu-Tang concert before you got on it. I didn't perform, but I went and I seen Wu-Tang perform and I seen, you know, how it all got together. And to me, it's like I'm so proud of where hip hop is at in life. Yeah, I'm so proud that we're growing up. I'm so proud that people around the world understands that this isn't a fad. This is, you know, one of the greatest gifts of life. Just think about it, man. Like you're from Brooklyn. I'm from Left Rack. We're not supposed to be in Miami right now at a juice bar. You know what I mean? Like we're not supposed to be like I remember watching your clip with Yousef Shalom and him saying that was embedded in us that we wouldn't make 21.
That's right.
Like how fucking whack of a life it is for you for someone in the hood to actually expect you not to make it over 21.
Word. Now let's talk about the hood and particularly hood you from. Queens get the money all day. You know, shout out to 50, shout out to Jungle.
That's my man.
Very close with. Shout out to Nas, as you just mentioned. I was just on a New York State of Mind tour with Nas and Wu-Tang. And what Nas is doing is so important for the culture right now. Shout out to G-Rap, who is a foundational to what you do. Royal Flush is going through some things right now.
Yeah, I spoke to him. I called him. Our communication with each other has to be better. Just like I said about 50 Cent, and I just said about the Neptunes, I was also probably one of the first people to collab with Flush, besides obviously Mike Geronimo and Large Pro because of his affiliation.
That what's it, Medallions record?
Yeah, Ice Down Medallions.
Ice Down Medallions record is crazy.
I remember
a lot of records you got with him.
I remember he hit Capone in jail, and he was like, "I need NORE on the record," and I was like, "This is weird," because you know our hood kind of had beef, Flushing and Left Rack. It kind of had beef, but it had nothing to do with us, like direct. But our hoods kind of did have beef, hit one of his mans, whatever. So I remember I'm like, all right, cool, come see me. And I was like, yo, Flush, come see me. I'm 1,000,000% down with him, like, you know what I mean? And I remember I was too ignorant to not have 50 people with me. And so I say that to say, me and Flush has been cool since. And I hated it. I had to hear that he's going through anything through the internet.
Yeah. I just, more in touch.
I just hate you out of town, you're out of the country, and you turn on Instagram and you see, yo, man, get well soon, Flush, like, or like whatever. Like, man, I'm so much more available. And I get it. People looking, they going on Instagram, they seeing my clips, or they seeing, and people like, oh, I don't wanna bother you. Fuck that, bro. Bother me. Like, and
you got genuine love. You're
not bothering me. That's what's crazy. So I kind of hate it, but I reached out immediately. I hit my man Mayor. Mayor hit him, say, yo, he can't talk. And so I sent out a text, and his wife texted me back and was like, yo, I read him your text, and he smiled.
Word.
And I was like, that shit meant so much to me. Like,
word.
Because it's like, yo, whether I'm NORE, whether you Talib, we have a relationship already. And our relationship should be honored. It doesn't mean, you know, it doesn't mean like one, it means one hand should wash the other, but it doesn't mean like, I don't know how to articulate this, but what I'm trying to say is life has been so crazy and life has changed so much that we have to be in communication with each other.
That's right.
We have to.
Too.
We're getting older. We need to talk. We need to, and that was one of the I was definitely I text right back and I reached out and I was thinking where I was at was like 4 o'clock in the morning when I got the thing, but I didn't want to, because that's what's crazy. I'll reach out. I'll be feeling like people don't reach out to me because they're looking at the success or they're looking like the accessibility is not there.
Yeah. And people don't want to be bugaboos. People have pride and people respect the fact that they know that you're busy. There's a lot of that.
I can't respect it no all. I need, if you're my people, man, reach out. If it's something I could do to help. And it's not always about money neither. It's about like I said, I text him and his wife answered. His wife was like, yo, he smiled.
Right.
Like, if that's something I could be there for, I want to be.
Right.
I'm never too busy for any of my friends that I consider I love. If I got love for you, I'm sorry. You got to be a real dickhead to fall out of love with me. I'm just being honest because it's like I was saying to my friend earlier, it's like, if I feel like you did something wrong, I'm going to tell you.
Right.
And I want it to be vice versa. So this way we have an honest relationship and we move forward in real time.
Yeah.
As opposed to, all right, cool. Well, Talib in Miami, but then Talib don't want to tell me to do the people's party. No, Talib.
You know I hit you up.
Yes,
like,
yes. I know I'm using you as an example,
right.
but I'm not using you as an example. What I mean is, like, so many people will drop that ball. Like this is what we are. Like, one hand, you know how many times you did Drink Champs? You did Drink Champs even when Drink Champs wasn't Drink Champs.
By the way, I'm going to campaign right now for a Drink Champs green jacket. For people who have been on more than 5 times. I need my jacket.
That's a great idea. Or like the golf jacket.
Yeah.
I'm taking your idea. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, that is hard. That is hard.
I didn't have to campaign that hard. You know what I'm saying?
No, that is hard. And that's what I'm saying. So this is actually, but most people, like I say this all the time. I say I don't have pride when it comes to me succeeding to another place.
Right.
And you know who don't have pride? DJ Khaled taught me this. When DJ Khaled wants something from you, he gonna find you in Nebraska.
Yep.
He gonna find you in Little Italy. Yep. He has no pride. Khaled will call you, yo, Norm, you good? Are we still good for Thursday? We still good for Thursday. And you're like, yeah, Khaled, I gave you my word. And he'll do it again, he'll do it again. And it reminded me of the relentlessness I used to have prior to the success. Why should that relentlessness stop with any success?
A lot of people don't know, and I'm going to just say this out here. We interviewed DJ Scratch, and we're going to do that again. Shout out to DJ Scratch, because we're going to do that interview again. But he defended Khaled, and I was outside when Khaled was popping in Opium.
Yes.
I wasn't really outside when Khaled was popping with the reggae parties.
Right.
But I've heard the legacy.
Right. Yeah.
And Khaled, people got to put respect on his name.
Yeah, Khaled deserves every accolade that he get. And like I said, when he was on college radio, he calls me the same way. If he needs something from me, he does not care I'm busy.
Yeah.
He does not. I don't even think he'll say, yo, I know you're busy.
Right.
I don't even think he'll say that. I think he'll just be like, yo, no, I need you Thursday, 8 a.m.
But you also know that when you work with him, he gonna make it official.
That's passion.
Yeah,
I love
man.
that passion.
Shout out to Khaled.
It's like, I'm sorry to jump around. I tell producers all the time, I say, if your passion is not like Swiss Beats, then then you shouldn't participate in this game.
Word
you
up.
ask Swiss Beats right now to this day, and you bring up Banned from TV, he'd be like, I'm still mad at NORE. This is 25 years ago.
One of the greatest posse cuts. Posse cuts was still a thing back then. One of the greatest posse cuts of all time. Everyone on their A game.
Yes.
The nigga Nature said, I get pussy because my father's features. Come on, bro.
You pop another bottle, but let me just tell you. Let me just say, as
that
great,
still working the club.
Yes, too. As great as Banned from TV is, the beat never dropped.
No.
And Swiss Beats never. There's a whole nother part of Banned from TV somewhere that has a whole nother beat. And Swiss Beats has never forgave me for it.
Word.
Even though the record is a success, it's a hit record, and I appreciate that so much. I tell that to Swiss. I say, yo, I always want to bring up the Banned from TV story just to make you mad for 12 seconds. Yeah, we could go Ace. Yes. We could get on our Brooklyn shit. Yeah. But yeah. I say that to say, like, this passion in this game, like when people say they get into this for money, those is probably most of the unsuccessful people in the world.
That's right.
If you don't have passion, I would sincerely rhyme for free.
That's right.
I would sincerely rhyme for free.
Not all the time, though. I went to the party, the 25 anniversary party.
Yeah, I didn't want to rhyme.
You didn't want to rhyme?
No, I didn't want to rhyme. That's a special moment. I wanted to see thank you for participating.
But I had a great hip hop moment in that party because shout out to my man, DJ Fly Guy, who's been killing it in Miami for so long. And his brother is Selwyn, who used to be at the source of one of the hip hop magazines. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So he's, and you had him DJing the party because he's the Miami party guy. Yes. And this is one of the greatest moments I ever witnessed in my life. I'm in there with, shout out to Raymond Santana, one of the Exonerated Five, and Fat Joe was in there, Jim Jones was in there. And we all celebrating the anniversary of Nore's debut album. And we all celebrating the hip hop in the era, and Fat Joe from the Bronx, Nore from Queens. And he threw on the South Bronx. And you said, hold on. With all due respect.
Not tonight.
Not tonight.
Not tonight.
We're not listening to South Bronx tonight. Now, I want you to speak a little bit about, because you were part of the era, shout out to Royal Flush and Mike Geronimo, and Nas and Mobb Deep, but also Capone and Noriega. You were part of the era of MCs that came back and reclaimed the name for Queens when Queens was dissed by Boogie Down Productions to KRS-One.
Right.
And I love being at Yankee Stadium. 50 years of hip hop. Shout out to Nas and Peter and Mass Appeal and what they did. I bought a ticket for that show.
Oh wow!
I bought like 20 tickets. Me and my whole crew, we went to Yankee Stadium. We gonna just be fans. And we was in there with the people, and people like, Talib Kweli, what you doing here? I'm like, I'm a fan, nigga. And to see KRS-One, Fat Joe out there with no shirt on.
Yeah, no shirt on.
Brought KRS-One out. To see KRS-One do the South Bronx and Bridges Over at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, it still hurts.
It was crazy. But I'm gonna redeem you because this was Nas' concert.
Right.
So even though KRS came out in the Bronx and Fat Joe did Lean Back, and the Bronx was in, this is right down the street from Fat Joe where he grew up.
Yeah.
The show ended not just with Nas coming out. Nas came out and stepped on that stage and said, Queens get the money. And then New York State of Mind did all his Nas shit. And then after Nas, Run DMC from Hollis, Queens came out.
That's dope.
So it was good for me to see Queens get redeemed in the Bronx.
And MC Shan was there.
Shan started off the show.
Yes, which I like.
They put Shan and Marley at 6 p.m.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Well, Run DMC went on at 2 in the morning.
Oh, okay.
We was there for like 8-9 hours.
Yeah, I seen Rev Run cursing.
He was doing all those,
Yeah, he was cursing. I was like, go ahead, Rev.
And Run DMC, they said they would never perform again without Jam Master Jay, rest in peace.
Yeah.
So that's the first show they did together since JMJ passed away.
Yeah, damn. I didn't know that. Yeah, you schooling me right now. I didn't know that.
But tell me how it was to live under the shadow of South Bronx and the Bridges Over and have to overcome that.
It's a horrible thing. I had to tell KRS. Because of KRS, you made all the killers in Queens. It's because of you. You need to feel guilty about this. I'm foul? Yeah, I think so a little bit. But it was a time, like, I know we haven't gotten to Yousef Salaam. And, we touched on it a little bit.
Right.
But it was a time, like, where I was locked up with them. And people would just, it was this worst saying in the world. People would be like, Queens? Because it's like how KRS once said. He said, I didn't hear peep from a place called Queens, which was not true.
I'm going to give context real quick to add this story. Nore was locked up
Yes.
with the Exonerated Five, the Central Park Five.
Yes, I was.
And he saw them going through that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back on that, but I remember me walking through the building, walking through the halls, and people just saying Queens, Queens, and them thinking like Queens is soft, which was not. And then KRS-One said he didn't hear a peep from a place called Queens. There's no way you couldn't have. There's no way you didn't hear about Fat Cat, Pappy Mason. There's no way. But I get it. It was a diss. He was at war. But to answer your question, yeah, as an MC, as a person, it was hard. So imagine as an MC, as a person, you got to prove yourself that you're not this Queens, you're not that, you're not, you know what I mean?
Like, wow, that's how they used to say it.
That's how they used to say it.
Yeah.
So you got to prove. First
I remember,
off,
I'm from Brooklyn. I used to say
as
that
a man, you got to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Then, as a person, and then you got to defend yourself as an MC. So it was very hard. It was very hard because those records was like #1. So, yeah, the C-Nas and Master Pill put on a show and allow Fat Joe to, do his thing and allow Fat Joe to do what he wants. I was proud of Nas letting Cameron on stage, not to like say he let Cam on stage.
That was dope. But Cameron was happy about that too.
Yeah, but that was dope. Like, it's dope to see us all grow. It's dope to see this. But to answer you, yes, it was very, very, very hard, growing up as an MC. And knowing that you got to defend your town, your borough, and your rap skills. Yeah. But I get to the Yousef Salaam, because what is he of Manhattan right now? What is he?
He is a city council of Harlem. I believe he won, which is beautiful. And Yousef Salaam came on our show and talked about him being Muslim in the prison. And a lot of people don't know this about you, NORE, but a lot of people don't know that, you studied 5%, the Nation of Gods of Earth.
I did.
And so, you have the way in which you move in your life, even though, it might not reflect in every single thing you say, it reflects in your actions.
Yousef was probably the most protected prisoner I probably ever seen. And that says a lot. Yeah. What I'm trying to tell you is, Yousef came in the jail Muslim. Most people convert and then they get, like, from the beginning, the Muslims, like, they knew he didn't do it. Like when I seen the respect that he had, and not only that, he would have his moms come up to the jail like once a month and cook for the whole jail on them. Like, the jail wouldn't pay for it. This was on, she felt that whole jail. I'm talking about, they might have fed the Aryan Nation. Like, that's real. Like, they might have fed people that called them nigga. Right. Like, you know what I mean?
That's a different level of grace.
I've never seen nothing like this. Like they didn't, like, on Thanksgiving, we looked forward to that. We looked forward to Yousef's family coming and feeding us. So, like, to see him get one, to see them exonerated is fucking so beautiful. You know what I mean? Because when you think about, if you even think about the case, there's no way they could have did it. Right. Like, there's no way this. What was fucked up about it is there's somebody who's probably still running around that did do it.
They actually caught the dude.
Oh yeah, that's right. He admitted. I remember. And that's what's so fucked up about it. It was one person. Yeah. How the fuck did you?
Right.
How did you get to 5? Like, it was one person who said he acted alone.
Black dudes went to jail.
He acted alone. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Capone because you met him.
You know what's funny? I forgot the Yousef, when he said it on your show. He was like, "Oh, I was talking with Capone and Noriega."
Capone and Noriega.
And I forgot that he was with me first, and then he went on the other side and went with Capone. Right. So he knows Capone and Noriega before Capone and Noriega was Capone and Noriega. Right. And all of them do, Raymond. All of them kind of do, like, and some of them that I wasn't locked up with, our love for the other brothers makes them feel like we were just all together, because I felt their pain. Like, it wasn't like, you got to realize that wasn't the easiest thing in the world to be accused of rape at that time.
That's a lynching.
Yeah, because a lot of people say Rikers Island was the wildest jail at that time.
You said that's the first place you caught a suntan.
I did?
You did. You said the first place I went suntanning was the first island I went tanning on.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay, I remember that.
Drunk uncle.
Okay, all right. So what it was at that time was there was these 16 to 24-year-olds. And what they would do was you either go to Rikers Island or you go to this place called Harlem Valley or Goshen or whatever. And that place was more dangerous because y'all spoke about Spofford. That place was more dangerous than everybody because you got these young kids that don't have a brain. And so, like, anybody that was accused of rape at that time went through it. Like, you went through it. And that's why, like, I'm glad the city got it right. You know what I mean? And I'm glad they exonerated. I'm glad that, you know what I mean? I got a chance to meet them all, you know what I mean? But nothing could forgive what they went through, yo.
That's right. They'll never get that time back. And a lot of lives were shattered behind
And that's why I want you to watch the John Gotti shit, because it just reflected on how foul New York City was back then. Like,
yeah, I want to check that out. I don't know if I ever told you about the first time I met Traj.
I don't remember.
First time I met Traj was I was at David Z Shoes on Broadway in Houston.
Okay.
In the Village.
Okay.
And I met Pasta Noose.
Oh, De La Soul.
Yeah. And he was in there buying some Jabot jeans.
Jabot jeans with the thing.
Yeah, the Mario Francois Jabots.
Yes.
And I said, yo, I rap. I'm trying to get a deal. What's up? And he's like, yo, you need to go around the corner. I told Dante Ross this recently. Right. You need to go around the corner to 298 Elizabeth Street. That's Russ Artist Management.
Oh, okay.
You need to get a manager.
Okay.
I said, okay, bet. I went around the corner to Rush Artist Management.
Right.
I met MC Search in that lobby.
Right.
I met Tretch in that lobby.
Wow.
But I met Tragedy also in that lobby. Okay. And me and him stood outside on the corner, just try to talk to girls.
Oh, okay.
You know, just for like it might have been an hour, it might have been 45 minutes. In my brain, it was 2 hours. That's what I remember. Because, you know, your memory expands, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm like, you know, Arrest the President was out. I'm like, this is the intelligent hoodlum. He's street, but he's intelligent. You know what I'm saying? And so Capone, you met Tragedy through Capone. Is that correct?
No.
Okay.
It's not correct. Actually, ironically, Traj met me first. He was I believe he was a Shiite Muslim at the time. So he had on the whole white, you know, I don't know what this called, so I don't want to say it.
Right.
I don't want to offend
That's
nobody.
Capone says the foul Makti.
Oh, yeah, we all call him the foul Makti. But he had on the all white and he had on the kufi. And I remember him trying to, like, you know, school me because people was telling him I was a bad kid, and he was like trying to be a mentor to me. So years later, I met Capone, and then Capone met Traj. And when Traj met, well, I knew he knew of, because, you know, they all from Queensbridge. I knew he knew of him, but Capone, because Capone is intelligent. A lot of people don't know, like, he's
very intelligent.
He's book smart.
Yeah.
Like, we was in jail.
He's at the law library.
Yes, he used to be at the law library. I used to have Capone help me with my homework.
Right.
Even though we wasn't home, that shit didn't make sense at all.
You got homework in jail.
Homework in jail, because we went to a college dorm. That's where Yousef Salon said. So he's very, very, very intelligent. But and I remember, like, Traj just being like, oh my God, like, he just knowing that he had the new star from Queensbridge. And I remember Capone saying, yo, it's cool. You can sign me, you got me. But the bigger play is when my man come home.
Right.
And he didn't know who I was, mind you. It wasn't an Instagram or nothing like that. So when I did come home, he was like, is him?
Right.
Because I was like, I was a bad kid when he first introduced to me. But I'll tell you this, because I want to give Traj his props fully.
Let's do it.
If I had a chance to do it all over again, I would do it with Traj from the beginning, 1,000,000%. The same way, because Traj taught me we don't waste time in the studio.
Right.
Like, you know, us going to Unique Studios was like paradise at that time. Like, I just wanted to be there. I just wanted to order Pluck You. And
okay, pause for a second. Just pause for a second. I want you to keep that thought, because I went to NYU.
Yes, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And the original, they had a bunch of Pluck
Yous, okay.
But the original was the one in the Village.
Okay.
With the NYU shit.
Okay, I won't disagree with you. Okay? I think so.
And when I went to NYU, I used to order Pluck Yous all the fucking time. So when I hear you on your records talking about, I'm like, Nori, no. Nori, know about the Pluck Yous and your man Animal Thug.
Animal Thug, listen, this
I'm gonna let you tell it.
Yeah.
Because I already know.
Animal Thug was a delivery boy. And he walked in, and I remember Jungle, I think it was Jungle's idea. Jungle was like, yo, do you got like blue cheese or something?
Right.
And the guy just starts talking. And Jungle's like, me, Jungle, and there was a guy named Kadar. And we were like, yo, this is the perfect skit. Let's put him in the fucking vocal booth. So we went in the vocal booth, and he freestyles this whole shit. But you know what's the best part about the Animal Thug skit is he owns Pluck You now.
That's dope. I want some Pluck Yous right now.
Yeah, he actually owns Pluck You. And then there's every now and then, like, you know, somebody would see him on the streets, and they will recognize him from his voice.
Wow.
And then he'll be like, yo, like my man SBK saw him the other day. SBK sent me a skit. It was like, yo, he's like, Noriega, good people. And and by the way, I'll be honest with you. At that time, I don't even think he knew who I was.
That's right.
Like, that's the reason why that skit was so hilarious and funny. It was because it was just organic. And we were just like, yo, the delivery guy's hilarious. So we went in and he goes, I got a big dick, girl, bigger than you. We like, this is fire. Keep it going. Keep talking. And we just like, yeah.
Who knew that him saying he has a bigger dick than some black dudes would lead to him owning Pluck Yous?
Him owning Pluck You, word. So I claim him the same way I claim everyone else's success.
But yeah, I'm glad that you, it's dope for me to see you give Traj his props like that because, you know, he's the foul Mahdi.
I mean, you know, I'm going to be honest. Me and Traj fallout was a real misunderstanding. And what I say by that is, it was really like, I gave the firm, I'm leaving. But I'm leaving was on the War Report.
Right.
And I love that record.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand how he didn't love the record. And we also did Blood Money Part 2 for the firm album. But the Blood Money Part 2 original vocals was on the War Report again. And I remember we rhymed to "Don't let it go to your head now." Doom 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 doom. And I remember
Gene Carn.
I remember replaying it for Capone, and Capone like, yo, this is dope. And I'm like, word? And I remember Traj walking in the studio. He said, what is this? And I was just so hurt. He was like, we don't sample like Puff Daddy. We sample like Havoc. And I was like, but why? Like, why we can't expand? Like, I was ready to expand from the War Report, but he was right. Systematically, it wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked for having a commercial record after the fucking cut your hand off a dude trying to steal from me. It wouldn't have worked, but I was too young to understand that. And I can remember me just being like, yo, I gotta be on my own. So I take blame for that. For me, I listened to him because I actually did listen to him. But the minute I got and I even think you came up was originally on the War Report. And I gave it to Pun. Pun needed a hook.
That's a classic record.
I gave it to Pun. I gave they wanted to do a song. I gave them I'm Leaving. Like, now that I'm older, I remember me saying, damn, I could see how he took it because it was our records, but it wasn't appreciated. And I knew I'm Leaving was a hit. I knew how it came on. Nori know this, Nori know that, but Nori know gat, because Nori buck that. Iraq could make you famous. Throwing gang signs like a sign language. And I remember Phife Dawg hearing it. And that's who I really wanted to like co-sign because that's his lines.
Right.
And Phife
And you
Dawg,
ended up on Tribe Called Quest album later.
I did end up on Tribe Called Quest album, but I wanted him to know how much of a fan I was of him. And I remember Phife was so competitive. He's like, I'm getting you back.
Phife was a battle MC.
He's a battle MC. He's like, yo, I love that you took my thing. He said, but I'm getting you back. And that's when I knew Phife is one competitive motherfucker.
Rest in
Like
peace
I clearly was giving him props, and he still was like, "I like the props, but I'm gonna get you back."
You know what's interesting about your overlap with the native tongues? That's not the only time you overlap with the native tongues lyrics. When you think about Nothing, I've heard a story about Pharrell making you study JB's Coming Through.
Yeah, well, he first made me study Ice Ice Baby.
Right.
And that's what that's Fab's record, Holla Back Youngin'. Woo,
Right.
woo. If you look at the same flow, Rollin', Go To Cedars, Stashes My Hands Up.
Right.
And I just
Ice Ice Baby.
I just couldn't get over me doing Ice Ice Baby. Even though I met Vanilla Ice the other day, he gave us a fake number.
He's Miami dude, right?
We Googled it, like, hey, he's an ex-alcoholic. It's probably not the best show for him. I'm like, hey, I get it. I get it, you know. But then Pharrell says, go study the Jungle Brothers. So I'm like, all right, I could get with the Jungle Brothers. And his rhyme goes, Uncle Sam, Mike G say, want to join the slam. With his manager, Chris, is join the slam,
Right.
5,000.
They record is Mike G, Mike G, baby band, road manager Chris to join his slam.
So that's the only line I took from them is with your manager, Chris, because obviously my manager
Chris
was
Lighty started as the road manager for the Jungle Brothers and then became Violator Management to where it was a behemoth by the time you got done with it.
So I kept that part, but Pharrell didn't want me to use none of their words. And just the flow.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to always keep that to my grave, but I always see the Jungle Brothers, and I got to give it up to them. And I'm like, yo,
Jungle Brothers for me I was listening to that a lot, but in particular for my crew, that was our record. JB's Coming Through. Travel Lightly. Drop with the baby band, baby. That was our record right there. So it's like when I first heard Nothing, immediately I'm like,
that's the Jungle Brothers. You know, that was an experience for me.
But you also had your own rhyme style. Like you brought up Bloody Money.
Right.
You know, like one of my favorite lyrics of all time in hip hop is put the bogey out on your face. Now your face lace like ashtray face. Because the line is frankly absurd.
Right. Yes, it is. It is. I agree.
It's absurd. It's like, and there's one thing you used to do back in the days. Used to not make words plural.
Yeah.
Like you would say, instead of doors, you say door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I was so broken slang because I grew up Puerto Rican and black. When I went around my Puerto Ricans, they had the most foulest black jokes. When I went around the black people, they had the most foulest Puerto Rican jokes.
Right.
So I used to have to like know how to rank with them both.
That's what they used to call Puerto Ricans Germans back then.
Oh, that was so disrespectful. Yeah, I never wanted to be called a German. Like, oh no.
Right.
But I used to have to learn how to rank without being offensive to the next person. But I had to do that, and I think that I developed this type of slang. Because I remember, like I said, like our first session with Tragedy, I didn't know if Trag knew that my style was so unique or not. But I remember we was at Power Play recording studios. And
out in Queens,
Power Play. This is where Large Pro worked.
Me and Hot Tech, our first demos were done out in Power Play. Shout out to my man Vaughn, he was the engineer.
Well, yeah, so we there. I'm like, this is where Large Professor works at. This is where such and such works at. And you got to remember, this is our first time meeting as an artist. Now, Trag is willing to sign me. So I laid, because like I said, I had all my rhymes in my mind. So I laid it so fast. Like, I must have laid my shit, ad-libs, double, all that shit within under 12 minutes.
You guys are talking about monkey walk.
I was like, no, but this was our first session. So this was called Half a Mil. This was the name of the record.
Song.
And I remember me walking out, and I remember the engineer telling him, this is when I knew I had something. The engineer told him, he rhymes in stereo.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what that meant. And I don't know if Trash knew what it meant, but I knew it was a compliment. And he was like, yo, I know.
I agree with it.
He was like, yo, I know you got the other guy, because Trash was in the Capone. Like he was heavy in the Capone and really wasn't feeling Capone's idea of putting someone else in a group until that guy said, you could have Trash co-sign the story, but I remember that guy saying to Trash, he rhymes in stereo. You got to remember, we didn't call radio back then. We called it stereo. So what I gathered years later was this guy was saying he rhymes radio ready. Like it's already there.
I think it's also a sonic thing because we had mono too. So like mono, you're not getting the full sound. When you plug in, when you get that stereo sound, you're getting the full surround sound. And I think your style was it was loud.
It was different.
It was like a staccato. Like it was like your style for me was like being in the hood and hearing guns go off.
Right. Because you know what the crazy thing was, Talib? And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to make it make sense. At the time, Queensbridge might have been the wildest place in America. But you had Prodigy so cool and calm. And you had Havoc so cool and calm. And you had Nas the coolest, calmest. And I was just trying to be like a little bit opposite of them. So that's the reason why I would go, what?
Right.
Not only for you count on my bars, but I wanted to be like a little loud because I realized no one's loud. Everyone is like kind of put together. Everyone is kind of like so smooth. And one thing for sure, two things for certain, I knew I wasn't a smooth guy. I knew I wasn't a genius, but I knew it's so much easier to be me than to be someone else.
That's right.
And that's why I work.
I want to shout out some of the DJs. You know, Fat Man Scoop was early on y'all. Stretch and Bobito was early on y'all. And this is a story that I don't share that often, but I should share it more.
Okay.
Because your story reminds me of it. When I was in high school, I was in a group. My man Sid V and my man Free. They have a group called Duo Live. They ended up moving down here to Miami.
Oh, wow.
But when I was in high school in Brooklyn Tech, me, Sid V, and Free, we was called GAP. My rap name was Genesis. Sid V was DJ Assault. Free was Prophetical Prince. They went on, and so we was in Brooklyn Tech. You know, we was inspired by X-Clan, and we was trying to do the native tongues thing. I used to go in the village and buy the jabos. I met Pasta News. That's what I was into. And Free, I could be misremembering this, but I believe Free's either his cousin or his uncle was Martin Moore.
Oh, wow.
And so the first time that you ever heard Talib Kweli on radio was across the street from McDonald's at NYU.
NYU, that's right. You said that earlier.
And DJ Mayhem.
Yes.
And so this was
them both up, Martin Moore and DJ
big up
Mayhem.
Martin Moore and DJ Mayhem because they are very instrumental to your journey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Martin Moore was a genius. He heard us on Funk Flex radio. And what I tell you, we had not a smidget of experience. Like we were literally cursing over each other, going over each other. And he could hear the talent through that. And he went to Penalty Records and he was like, fuck whatever else they doing, we're signing these guys. And then he connected with Trash. And him and Trash kind of like don't get along now, which is weird.
I saw the 5 hour. I watched the 5 hour
it was very weird.
reunion.
Yes, it was very weird. It was very weird, but I rightfully so though. Rightfully so. Like it's
I'm
like
glad you brought that together.
Yeah, like rightfully so. Like, but and then Mayhem, you know, was Martin Moore's man. So between them, we got signed, and then there's so many people, man. Zenobia. Carolyn Williams, Geno Smith. He came a little later. Geno Sims.
He ended up putting on ASAP Rocky later on, right?
Yeah, he ended up putting on ASAP Rocky. So, but to tell you the truth, he was our first support that came outside of the hood. Like Trash was from our hood. Trash, even though Trash is not from Left Rack, Trash is from Queens. You know what I mean? He's from Queensbridge. He's from 40 Projects. He's Queens. If you cut him, he's gonna bleed Queens. So. Not to say we expected to have support for him, but it was like warranted for his support. To get it from Martin Moore and people that's outside, and even Neil Levine. Penalty Records was a dope label, man. Like, you know, Penalty is like a little bit in the same vein as a Raucous. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like
it was Raucous for more thugged out.
Yes. I'm so appreciative of the things that I went through back then that I didn't know was so dope. Now is because like I'm a little zen now in my lifestyle. I'm a little cool. I'm a little calm and collective. But, you know, nothing's better than the journey.
Yeah.
Nothing's like, not the destination, the journey, like getting there and like, you know, like we were just saying earlier, like I was in Monaco and I felt like, you know, the brokest I ever felt in my life because it was just $30 million yachts and people running around with, you know, it was just like, wow. And it's just like, you know, I didn't really know these places existed outside of Dubai. Mm-hmm. And for me to see that, it's like, you know what? Damn, rap got me here. Not going to school, not having a college education, even though I went to college with Yousef. Being a part of this rap fraternity got me here. And that shit is just so like underrated. It's like so crazy. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm just so much more appreciative in life.
But it's still fuck Tommy Boy because niggas still suck.
Honestly.
You left the white label because you like bricks, bro. Like, come on.
You know what, Tom Silverman? You know what? I never said this. How about this? How about this? Tom Silverman, I apologize. How about that? How about, you know, I was young. I didn't understand the business. I didn't understand that this was just business. To me, I'll give you a perfect example. When me and EFN signed to CBS, I didn't want to meet nobody. I didn't want to meet the president. Because it was so much of like me feeling like I was in a group home when I first met with Neil Levine and I first met with Tommy Boy. But then it started to feel like family. And the way Tom Silverman just dropped Penalty Records didn't feel like family at all. It felt like this was like a malicious intent to just work with me and Capone as opposed to working with the whole label. We were meeting at Mr. Child's. And he's saying, listen, guys, you guys don't hang out at Penalty no more. And we're like, this was like our hangout spot. This was like our block. He's like, nah, y'all not, you don't come here no more. Y'all come to Tommy Boy. I just dropped the whole label. And then just changed the subject. And we like, what? That was our whole livelihood. And not only that, you fired every employee that we got used to eating turkey and cheese with. You know what I mean? It was so crazy, and it was just like it didn't matter. So to me, if it didn't matter to you, it shouldn't have mattered to me. So I went on and I was like, fuck Tommy Boy, you know, they just suck. But I didn't realize that he probably gonna have to hear this for the rest of his life. Like
he can take it, bro. Tom,
he's rich.
Tom is fine. He'll be fine.
But I tell you what, I'm apologetic now, and I'm sorry now.
Zen now.
But I was not then. I meant it because
you don't like bricks.
I didn't like bricks. No, and it was when he did it. He did it in the middle of the War Report reunion release date. So he drops the whole Penalty record. So there's literally no one out there promoting our record.
Right.
It was almost like sabotage. Like, yo, look, I'm gonna drop your whole staff. I'm gonna pick you up so you don't have a good first week.
It was very important back then too. The first week was.
But I'm gonna pick you up so you want that first week. So for this very next album, I don't have to pay you what you guys are actually worth.
Right.
And that's how I felt. I felt like it was a strategic move. You know what I mean? Like I felt like that. Like, you know what I mean? And then it was like years later, we broke up. We're not with each other no more. And I dropped an album on Penalty Records. No. I dropped an album on somewhere. And the album did like fair. It was an EMI, I believe. The album did fair. And he was like, yeah, but I heard NORE's not doing good now. I was like, really? Contrary to pop. But
right. Au contraire.
Yes, I say that to say, you know, to tell you the truth, I probably, if I had a chance to take it back, I probably wouldn't have said it. I probably still mean it, but I probably wouldn't have said that.
Well, that's what Zen means. It means, you know, it means knowing that you can feel a way, but not have to speak on everything.
Yes.
Like Trash said, you don't have to share all of it.
Yes.
But you have always shared everything. You share like.
I'm pretty much an open book.
Yeah, and your records, we know like you were, and there was an era when you was like struggling with weight.
Yes.
And you sharing that on the records.
Yes.
Every record that you ever came out with, you like, I'm trying to quit smoking bogeys.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And I stopped smoking bogeys.
Yeah, and then it's like, even like with Melvin Flint, You know, one of the premiere record on Reunion is where you say it the hardest, but you've been you would be very apologetic about Melvin Flint, and you would talk about how you missed your pops. Rest in peace to your pops.
And Pun.
And Pun.
Yeah.
And Capone was locked up at the time, right?
Yeah, it was a rough time for me. I remember I had to say it. I was like, Melvin Flint dropped. My whole Colosso stopped. I can't believe I fucked up and made a half-ass album.
Man.
My excuse is my pops just died, but I ain't want to make music. My pops just died. Like,
that's real.
I'm trying to like actually, but here goes these people who pay me all this money, and I had to deliver. But it's like nowadays I might have been better to handle it, but Pun's death. By the way, I didn't come into this game to be friends with nobody. Like I came into this game to like, you know, work, make money, you know what I mean? But Pun, I fell in love with. Pun came to my session. It was me and Capone. We was in Unique Studios too, again. Probably just finishing Pluck You. And Pun said, which one of y'all Puerto Ricans? Puerto Rican. And I remember me raising my hand like I was in school. He go, but you know, Fat Joe and them came in. In fact, I remember Fat Joe saying this. It's like, which one of y'all got shot? And we were like, wait a minute, what? Like, how do you say hi to somebody like that? And it was Capone who got shot. So Capone was like, yeah, I just got shot. And Fat Joe's next words was, it's not good, right? Like, because he shows Capone his shots. So they're having like shot reminiscence. They're having like, you know, survivor's remorse from shots.
Right.
And they're vibing. I'm like, oh, okay. And then Pun's like, you the Puerto Rican. I'm like, yeah. He like, so I got an ice girl on. I don't know how to be industry. And he's like, yo, you should just take the ice girl off. We're gonna be friends, Papa. And I was just like, holy shit. And I remember that day changed my life because I never met somebody that pure. I never met somebody that open. I never met somebody that honest and unique.
Yeah.
And I knew he was a star. He was funny off top. But I did not know that he was going to be my friend.
That's right.
And I did not know he wasn't going to be around for a long time.
Right.
My father was different because my father had battled with his own, you know, crisis. But for me to lose them back and forth, back to back, and then having to go into an album, and then Capone came out mid-album. He wasn't locked up through the whole Melvin Flint, but he came out mid-album, and it was just like my mind wasn't there. Like, there is a time to take a break. Like the other day, one of my friends' father passed away. And one of my friends' fathers passed away. He expressed to me that, yo, he's hurt. And I'm like, yo, just because my father passed away 7 years ago, doesn't mean I'm not just as hurt as you.
Yeah.
Like I identify, like you don't get over that. So I say that to say, like, if I ain't over it now, I definitely wasn't over it then. It wasn't the proper way to be making music. But again, you got to remember back then, everyone got their first halves up front, you know. So this album, I'm already in the red. Like how me and you was talking off camera. He was like, yo, you in the black. You know, I'm saying I started out in the red because
that's what we live in. That's what we live as artists,
So I started out owing more than what they gave me. So I had to go in. And to tell you the truth, I could listen to the album now. I could listen to it. I don't think it's a half-ass album. I think it, because my fans really was mad at me. Like, what? Like Melvin Flint is my favorite NORE album. I'm like, ugh. And I get it, but I couldn't put my heart into it. My heart was not there. Like,
it must also bring you back to that feeling.
Yeah, because you're reminiscing. You thinking about, hey, like, listen, man, my father was my hero. Like, God bless me. Like, I was a person from the hood that felt rich. And when I say felt rich, I didn't have physical finances, but I had my mother and my father. So me coming home every night, I felt like I was coming home to a mansion because I had parent love. Most of my friends had either their mother, either just their father or their grandmother.
Yeah.
Like, no one really had both parents.
Yeah. I want to thank you for making the record Love Your Moms too.
Oh, yes.
Because not only did you make that record, I think for yourself, but you got Maze, Mussolini on it, gold, complexions.
Yes.
And you created a space, not just for yourself, but for all your brothers to also talk about their moms.
Yeah.
And in the hood, with how we was growing up, it wasn't no therapy.
Right.
These records become the therapy.
Yeah. That is so dope because my sister got to speak at one of my friend's mother's funeral the other day. And one of the lines she said, to quote my brother, love your moms and hate the streets.
Yeah.
And that is like so simple, but so complicated because most of us say we love our moms, but most of us show that we love the streets.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be that macho guy that said it's cool to love your moms. It's cool. It's cool to be like I got one of my friends. He's a mama's boy. Like his moms would come around and make everything about him, and that's so dope to see that in this elder age, like we can still be mama's boys. There's nothing for that to frown upon. There's like in the hood, like receiving love sometimes is like right, like because we're so not used to it. So
we have to normalize being loving towards each other.
You got to normalize. That's why I believe Drink Champs works, is because we're normalizing us being fans of other people. But I say that to say that's why I made that record. Was I had made Sometimes before that. Yeah. Sometimes it's the exact opposite of that. Sometimes it's me grieving over my father. Yeah. Steph. Love Your Moms, it's me loving my mom's presence. Yeah. And I think that is so much important to express. The love of a woman, period. The love of that motherly love that we so much forget about, because the more that we grow and grow and grow and grow into manhood, we either marry somebody that's like your mom's or you marry somebody that's the total opposite. Yeah, yeah. Word up. Yep.
Now, your father is Puerto Rican, your mom's black,
yes,
right?
Correct.
And you are a pioneer of what the world calls reggaeton. I'm going to quote your lyrics.
Yeah, I am.
You say, I knew enough Spanish to not get jerked when I was getting work. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So how does a guy who doesn't know enough Spanish to even, you know...
It's my 14 words that I know. I know I'm so good. Oye, papito, loco, dime. Like, I'm going to hit you with it so good that you ain't going to even think that. Yeah. And I was honest. Like, I knew enough. One thing about being able to go uptown and express, you got to realize most of these people, they are on guard because everyone is trying to, you know, either get with them to pay for it or get with them to rob them. Let's just be frankly that they have the golden thing. So when you show somebody some honor and you show somebody, like, there is honor amongst thieves, contrary to popular belief. There's actually morals amongst the streets. Like, I think I heard 50 Cent say something like this. He said he didn't really know what a crook was till the crook was in a suit. Yeah. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like that. And it's true. Like, if me and you are hustling in the streets, I'm going to honor you because I don't want no problems with you. And you're going to honor me. So that's pretty much what it was. I would know enough Spanish to meet them at Copeland's. I would know enough Spanish to meet them at, you know, wherever, Port Sagua or wherever. I would know enough just not to get jerked, and just enough for them to make me feel like I'm one of them. Because a person gonna take care of you if they feel like they one of them. And that was unfortunate, but it it's how I got over.
But I'm glad you tapped into the reggaeton chamber.
Okay. Yo, that's two different parts. That was drug dealing.
right.
Reggaeton, I'm gonna tell you, being a boss is not all it's cracked up to be. If I don't come out, there's nobody to get paid. There's no show. And I got tired of that. I got tired of hip hop. I got tired of me going to my hip hop shows and people getting stabbed or shot. So I went to Puerto Rico one day. I went to Jamaica. Here's what's crazy about me not discovering reggaeton, because I didn't discover reggaeton. I just brought it to America. But I went to Jamaica. We filmed a video with Lexus and Wayne Wonder. And I had one of the most amazing times ever. And I realized I got island in me. Like, I'm a part of the island.
Yeah.
It's just probably not this island. But
Rikers Island.
Yeah. No, it's Puerto Rico. But when I went to Puerto Rico, I was like, wait a minute. I could feel this. And I remember them partying and playing reggaeton all night. And I remember me saying, my show is not good. And like, your show is not good. You just tore it down, NORE. I just tore it down. I did. I was like, nobody got stabbed. And they're like, is that how you think a good show is? Like, is that? It's like, I was like, yeah, but there wasn't a shooting. There was like nobody argued. Like, I'm disappointed by people.
Nobody thugged this shit out.
Yes, and I was like, I heard Puerto Rico's a gangster fucking town. Like, they made faces of death in Puerto Rico. Right. Like, a lot of people don't know that. So I was like, did I let them down? And they was like, you killed it. And I started to realize what I was doing to think that I was doing a good show was the most horrible thing in the world. And I started to understand that, you could have a show without, and it was so, it's so great to be right. Like, when I tell you, like, I was the first person to work with 50 Cent. I was the first person to put the Neptunes on the record. And when I tell you, being first is not all it's cracked up to be.
Speak on it.
When you're first, you're the first one to get critiqued. You're the first one to say, he's bugging. So reggaeton, two of my closest friends to me is EFN and Fat Joe. And they both had separate meetings with me. They pulled me to the side like, hey, man, I don't know about this shit, man. Like, it was like they talked to each other without talking to each other. Because they both had the same, like to the T, like, hey, man, you made the war report. And I'm like, so I can't make this too? Like, what if I'm both? Like, what if I'm that guy, but what if I'm this guy too? I don't see why I had to choose. And it's to this day. The other day, EFN said, I'm sorry. And Fat Joe also said, you were right.
One of my favorite records you ever did in your career was later with Fat Joe, Bendition.
Bendition,
and Fat Joe says, I heard they wasn't welcome in Puerto Rico. Where I heard that? And La Bella, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was in Luisa too.
Yes. That's true.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Fat Joe.
That is absolutely true. I don't want to get into particulars or why, but it was people was spreading that rumor, and I couldn't let that rumor exist. So I asked him to say that line. I said, yo, can you please say that people thought you was banned from Puerto Rico, but you heard that when you was in Puerto Rico, like how I think it was Hov who said they told me I was banned. Well, I heard that when I was whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm glad, like, like Bad Bunny is one of the biggest artists on the planet right now.
He's an amazing artist.
And he's different. He's unique.
He's Puerto Rican to the bone, too.
Puerto Rican to the bone, but in a lot of ways, and I'm not claiming his success. That's not what I'm doing. But in a lot of ways, had it not been for reggae, had it not been for Oye Mi Canto, that record. Not even me. Let's just say the record. Because he comes from the lean. I just heard his album. He bigged up Daddy Yankee, Dago Calderon, and he bigged up Don Omar.
Don Omar, yeah.
And if you
that lane.
If you read, I mean, if you hear it, it sounds like he's dissing them. But if you read it, you can see that he's paying homage to them. And I got to be a part. Like, I think they did a research of the 10 biggest reggaeton records, and Oye Mi Kondo is one, and fucking Gasolina remix is another one. And I'm on that.
Yeah.
And then reggaeton Latino remix is so.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I spent a lot of time in San Juan. You know what I'm saying? And I also DJ.
Yes.
So, I spent so much time there. I'm like, okay, I gotta be able to DJ a reggaeton party if they ask me to DJ. You know what I'm saying? Like La Repuesta or whatever.
Yep.
I need to be able to do it. And so a couple of months ago, I got booked to DJ a party where it wasn't about me. Like no one was coming to see Talib Kweli. They just coming to dance.
Yeah, coming to dance.
So I was like, okay, I gotta know. So I start researching and listening to mixes because I want to be on point.
Right.
And I'm starting to tap into the Bad Bunny and the Karol G's and the El Alfa and all this type of artists. And I'm learning this. But here's what I learned, Nori. When I'm setting up my crates, I'm setting up my set, what I learned is I could play all that new Karol G and Bad Bunny shit, but I still got to have that Don Omar.
You got to have that.
I still got to have Gasolina. That ain't going to go nowhere. Oye Mi Kondo ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, you got to have it. You got to.
Tango ain't going nowhere.
Look, Oye Mi Kondo is so big. I had a dude try to fight me in the club singing my record. Like he had no idea. He bumped into me. I bumped into him back. I was like, "What the fuck is your name?" He's like, "Body car." And I'm looking like this guy can't know. Like he can't know that this is me. Like And I just almost forgave him. I was like, yo, because you got good taste. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's one of those records that's you ever heard of a person like, yo, his records is bigger than the artist. That's one of my records that is bigger than me. Like I can go anywhere in the world and they'll play Oye Mi Kondo and they won't even know that I'm in the building.
That's right.
I mean, so I'm blessed to see where reggaeton has gone. I'm blessed, and again, I want to reiterate that I did not discover reggaeton, but what I did was the guy. Like imagine I could be in the place of Melly Mel, not Kool Herc, but in the place of Melly Mel, where I can help the genre move further, and that's literally what I did. And let me be clear. Let me make this clear on the People's Party.
That you the Melly Mel of reggaeton?
No, I don't want to go that far. I was trying to get there, but I thought about it. I said, hold on, Melly Mel might come at me. You know what I mean? But let me just tell you something. My people cut me off. There was so many people who told me I was doing the wrong thing. And there were so many people who reacted to me doing the wrong thing because they didn't see what I saw. And that was a hard time as well because I was living a successful life. Because Oye Mi Kondo, we were just talking about Spain earlier. I was #1 in Spain.
Look, I was just in Barcelona and I DJ'd a party there and I played this record and it's crazy.
Yeah, I got to see a genre of music be born. Like again, I had nothing to do with the birth of it, but I literally brought that shit to America. I literally was going to DJs to DJ and say, why you're not playing They Go Calderon? Why you not playing Don Omar? Why you not? And I was so early on it, I didn't even call it reggaeton. I called it Spanish reggae.
Right.
You know what
Shout
I mean?
out to Thurston Howell as well.
Because that's what I heard.
Yeah,
I heard Spanish reggae.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I heard Spanish.
Like even with the new styles, like they call it the dembow and all that. This is the culmination
Spanish
of the reggae.
Yeah. So and I remember Henderao. I remember me going to Brooklyn parties and me hearing boom boom mommy 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 and me knowing that my Flatbush people and my Brooklyn people don't know that this is Spanish.
That's Spanish.
This is
right.
This is not reggae at all.
This is why Daddy Yankee gets his respect because he knows popping in that time.
Yeah. I respect Daddy Yankee. You know, me and Yankee hasn't spoke in years. I don't have no problems with him. I'm sure he's too rich to have problems with me too.
Right.
But I appreciate what we did. If I ever see him, I'm going to initiate the hug. I'm going to hug him and I'm going to tell him I appreciate him back. I know that there's been some type of misunderstanding, but like again, if I'm wrong or if I had something to do with it being wrong, I like to apologize. I don't mind. Like I said, it doesn't take nothing away from me.
You zen.
So, yeah. So if Daddy Yankee's watching this somewhere, you know, yo, bro.
Let's get Daddy Yankee on Drink Champs.
Yeah.
Let's
I
do
would
that.
love. It's all love. We made history. We really changed the world for the better. And again, I know we haven't spoken in a while, but my love is still the same.
No doubt.
I'm not that guy. You know what I mean?
No doubt. Now, I want to give a big rest in peace to PNB Rock.
PNB Rock.
You worked with him on this record, Out of My Mind, which you wrote for your wife. And we in your wife's spot right now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You said on She's Mine before then, I'm going to have my lady with me like my manager.
Yeah.
And then you live your life like this.
Yeah, it's true.
You know? Shout out to Sonny Anderson. I heard she tried to stop you from doing couples therapy and marriage boot camp and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But let me big up to Sonny Anderson. That's one of my closest friends. I love. We haven't seen each other in a minute, but she's been busy. I've been busy. But I gotta give it that to LL. I was on tour with LL, and this I wasn't with my wife at the time. Not to say then it's coming out like
no.
And then it's foul coming out.
Right.
I wasn't with my wife, so you know what I was doing.
So I was on the tour with LL. Licking my lips. Pink cookies in a plastic bag.
Giving out fucking
by
flowers.
buildings.
But I was on a top 40 tour with LL Cool J, Ja Rule, I think Fat Joe, Ashanti. I did it with LL like 3 or 4 times. I was just on a random tour. Like he would have 40 cities. I'd be added to 14 dates. But I remember LL having these women go crazy. I mean, LL would come outside. He'll take off his shirt and he would throw all the roses and he'll talk to a woman.
I'm alone in my room. Sometimes I stare at the wall.
And then he'll go straight to his dressing room.
Right.
And I was too young to understand he's smart. So I would go to his room and be like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, let's go out there. Like, every woman in the world is screaming your name. Like, you just deaded me. Like, I was out there having a little bit of props. You came out with roses and you kept your Kango hat on. And I was like, so I asked him one time to do it. He's like, yo, NORE, I'm good. Then another time to do it. He's like, yo, NORE, I'm good. And then like the third time, he was like, yo, NORE, you know rappers get in trouble. Like, people lie on us. You know what I mean? Like, people lie on us. And he's like, yo, I pray you don't never have to deal with that. He said, but I have never been on tour when I have never been on trouble when I have my wife with me. And I was just like, wait a minute. Didn't make sense to me.
Right. His name is Ladies Love. Cool.
Yes, it didn't make sense to me. And I was just like, what? But then later on in life, I realized that it was hard to crush a rumor back then. If someone said, yo, you did this, you actually did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't have Twitter to be like, yo, this woman is lying. Or this dude just made that up. I wasn't there. So I remember you used to do a magazine and it would come out 2 months later. So you was sitting back, so you can't even rebuttal a thing. And from that moment on, I was like, yo, if I ever meet the right woman, I'm going to do the same exact thing. Right. I'm gonna keep her with me. And it's been working out for me. I have not been in trouble.
It's beautiful to see, man.
Yes.
Shout out to wifey.
Yes. But let me say something. Very seldomly in hip hop do you have a misunderstanding and then you guys get closer. Up top when we had the Kanye interview, EFN, because you know we really get drunk. Like so EFN stops not stops the interview, but after the interview was over, he's like, yo, I'm not really offended about anybody else. But I want you to warn Talib.
Let me just shout out EFN, by the way. To give him his flowers real quick. EFN, before I met you, when EFN was doing his DJ thing, Crazy Hood Productions, he would always show my records love. You know what I'm saying? And I know that, I think it was NORE Reality that you first had the Drink Champs song.
Okay, yes, that's spirit. Damn, you're on point.
Yeah,
okay.
It's people's part, you know what it is.
I see you.
But you and EFN coming together is so important for the culture. And what he does with his fatherhood thing, it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful, brother.
So he hits me, he goes, yo, listen, everyone else, this is the first Kanye. So everyone else Kanye talked about, not like he didn't care, but he was like, our relationship is with Talib. And he's like, I feel like you should call him. So I'm like, I feel like we should call him. And he's like, I think your relationship was a little bit tighter.
Right.
And I think you might be blamed more.
Right.
Straight up. So I said, fuck it. And I called you, and so seldomly in hip hop, because it was like, yo, Talib, I couldn't stop him like at this point. And so seldomly in hip hop do we get closer. So I expressed to you that, yo, I didn't agree with him, and you was like, I get it, Nori. You don't gotta worry. And
this is before the episode came out.
Yes,
we had this conversation.
I had to warn you. I had to warn you because and then me and you, it felt like me and your understanding of our relationship just got better. We just was talking all the time. And I appreciate you knowing that I was in a fucking catch-22. I appreciate you appreciate me that know that, yo, look, Ty, once this guy started talking, I couldn't stop him. And I really couldn't. But I could have.
But you did. I want to give you your props right now because there's two Kanye episodes. The first one, he talked a lot about me. He didn't talk about me the second one, but we had conversations.
But he was talking about your hat, so I had to wear a hat today. I got a fresh new haircut. And I was like, I'm still wearing the hat. I got Talib. I didn't realize how much you wear.
Hat game. I'm a hat guy. I represent for the hat guys. Shout out to all the hat guys out there.
By the way, pardon me cutting you off, but Dave Chappelle, you brought me to Dave Chappelle's shack. And Dave Chappelle said, I'm not gonna lie, Kanye, you do, I'm Talib, he said, you do wear a lot of hats.
He said, you be wearing them hats.
Out. Yo, I couldn't believe because, like, here I am around this guy for years, and I didn't even realize how many hats, how much hats
I'm a man of many hats.
You're a hattasaur.
I'm a hattasaur.
You're a hattasaur.
There's a word for that. It's called a haberdasher.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I'm an official haberdasher. But here's the thing that I loved about that episode. I love the fact that this is how I know we real friends, because a real friend is not going to just hold you down when he's in your face. He's going to hold you down when you're not in the room. Right. And Kanye, we in this era of my truth. Right. I don't subscribe to that. Right. To me, the truth is the truth. The truth lies a lie.
I agree.
I don't agree with my truth and your truth. And if we can't agree on the facts, then we can't even have a conversation. Right. So let's just agree on the facts. The facts is Kanye is an icon. Right. The facts is Kanye is a genius. Yep. The facts is Kanye put money in my pocket to help me feed my family. You know what I'm saying? But the facts is also that I help Kanye out. Right. There's a lot of facts. When that documentary comes out, you see the relationship.
Nah, you do see it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what made it even more weird. When I seen the documentary, I was like, damn. And don't get it twisted. Life does change. It's like you asked me about all my eras, from trap to Capone, to reggaeton, to Daddy Yankee. So life does change. But then when you look at the beginning and you say, oh, man, this is why that was kind of like crazy. Because, and I didn't know you didn't co-sign the documentary. I thought you signed off.
No, I did. Okay.
The
documentary is brilliant, by the way. Shout out to Cootie. They did a great job with that. But here's what's interesting. It took will.i.am coming on my show because I was tight at Kanye for what he said for a while.
I could tell you was, let me just say something. Sorry.
Okay, all good.
I could tell you was tight, but I could tell you kept your composure. You told me one of the most genius shits in the world. And I don't know if you want to edit it out, you can edit it out. But you said the weird shit about Kanye. This is what you told me. You said even when he disses you, he's bigging you up.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was just like, that was so genius to me. You was like, yo, he knows he's kind of like, even though he says something wrong about me, it kind of still helps me.
I said it was like having a hit record out.
Yeah, it was like having a hit record out. And I remember me being quiet on the phone. I didn't realize.
It's like when you said you wish Pac would have dissed you and hit him up.
Yes, it's the same exact thing. I didn't realize I was living in that same moment again. Like what you're saying, like with Pac, this and that. I didn't realize that. First off, I didn't realize that my platform. That's 1,000,000%. I have a friend. I choose not to say his name, but I had a friend who I said something about on the platform. He doesn't speak to me no more. I said the same exact joke Well, he does speak to me. He's very careful. He's very careful.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
He's like, this might end up on the podcast.
Yeah, this might end up on the podcast. So I didn't realize my everyday jokes that I say with people is taken serious on my show that I'm not even being serious on. So I didn't know the power of it. The first Kanye video, it went through the roof. It went through. But it was the second Kanye video that you really became. Okay, go ahead.
Before we get to the second one, I want to be clear with what I was upset about.
Okay, yeah.
Because look, Kanye, you asked Kanye, started with you asking Kanye, who does he prefer, me or Common?
Okay.
Right? And Kanye said, I prefer Common.
Right.
Kanye said, Common's a million. He said, Common's are 1,000 times better than Kweli.
Right.
Now, Common is one of my favorite rappers.
Okay.
If you like Common better than me, I get that.
Okay.
Ain't no nigga 1,000 times better than me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I remember,
but I wasn't even mad about that.
Right.
I wasn't even mad about that. I wasn't mad about the hat shit. That was funny.
Yeah.
Everything Kanye said was the truth. He said, I wish the nigga would read himself to death. Because what he was referring to,
I didn't remember
he
that
said that on your show.
Okay.
What he was referring to was he would say wild things that were incorrect.
Right.
And at that time, we were still in contact a lot. So I would send him articles and proof like, bro, you can't, you're incorrect about that. And he'd be like, yo, I don't want to read all this. I don't like reading. So when he came on your show, he's like, yo, Kweli, he said that. He said, Kweli keeps saying this shit to read. He said, this nigga I wish he would read himself to death. That's a compliment.
Right, that is.
If I'm an intelligent person, so what you saying is I read a lot.
And I remember me saying to him, but didn't you just see each other?
And this is the part I want to thank you for. Because you was a good friend, bro. Because I was so annoyed.
I was thrown off. I was thrown off
by what he said but I forgot.
Right.
I forgot, bro. I forgot that
y'all was just at a Dave Chappelle party together.
You split it up in two.
Yep.
The first episode, I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
So it was just Kanye dissing me. And Kanye said something very important. He said, he was dissing me with the hats and to read himself to death.
Right.
Okay, I wear hats, yes.
Right, yes.
I read a lot. I don't see how that's a diss.
Right.
I didn't get offended by that.
Right.
The second part, he says on your show, he said, I don't really like Kweli's rhyme style.
Right.
I was posing as a backpacker. Where I come from, a pose is a bad thing.
Yeah.
I was frustrated with the culture because I'm like, we supposed to hold him more accountable for saying he was posing as a backpacker.
Right.
How does man go this? Because essentially he's saying, I'm lying to you.
Yeah.
I'm not really who I say I am. And Will.i.am broke it down. I'm gonna send you that clip of Will.i.am on my show, breaking it down. And Will.i.am was like, yo, Kanye's not lying. Like he was pretending to be a backpacker and you could see it. I'm like, yo, he wasn't lying.
Wow.
Right?
I didn't know that.
And then you said, but didn't I just see you with him? And I forgot. He came to my birthday party was at Dave Chappelle comedy thing.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that was your birthday party.
So it was my birthday party. And I was DJing because I love DJing. It was me and Cypher Sounds and all my Brooklyn niggas pulled up. All my flappers, like my grimy flappers.
Because I remember you told me, you said, he's kind of right. We did have 15 hats on.
We had all my niggas had baseball hats on. Every single one of them. And Kanye said on your show, he said, damn, I just did see that nigga. He said it was, now I got to fight 15 niggas with baseball hats on.
That was hilarious too.
Yo, I was like, yo, that's exactly what it is.
He kind of didn't diss you. He kind of bigged you up.
He was like, damn, I did just see him. Fuck. And that was funny because that was Kanye owning the fact that, you know, you can't just talk reckless. Right. You're going to have to see somebody.
Right.
And you know, I did just see this nigga. And next time I see him because I'm talking, it might be a fight. Now, I have no actual beef with Kanye.
Right.
That's not true. I don't like the Nazi shit. I mean, that's the second. You know what I'm saying? Not just with you, but with Alex Jones and with him hiring Nick Fuentes and Milo. I'm not with none of that shit.
Right.
There's a lot of shit that Kanye said that can be forgiven, right? There's a lot of shit. Anything he said about me and my music, I don't give a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? My issue with Kanye, and you called me the second Drink Champs, you called me before it came out.
Yep.
And you was like, I'm not sure I should drop this.
It's very true.
Yeah, and you said, Charlamagne said, don't drop it.
Listen, I remember where I was to the T.
Right.
Because me and you had developed such a great relationship. I respected that you knew, like, you know, I kind of couldn't stop him at certain points. I kind of couldn't, like, damn, I've been fucking up your mic the whole time. But I kind of couldn't, but I wanted you to warn you. And me and you had spoke more and more and more. And for something about this second episode, I just knew. I knew that it was evil. Like I knew things that was said. I'm not calling him evil at all, but I knew that things that was said. And then there's a lot of people. And then you even did a post. He was like, yo, he's not really Nori's friend because he used NORE. And I didn't look at it like that, but I could see how you could have looked at it like that.
I'll be honest with you, and I'm gonna say this on this show right now. That was more me. You know what? That was more me. That was more about my feelings than about how he treated you. Right. I saw. I didn't like the fact that the world. I felt like the world should have had my back a little bit more. But Kanye said he was a poser.
Right.
And so I was like, here's an opportunity for me to show, and that was more ego driven than anything for me to say that.
Right.
Because I should have let you just express how you felt.
So basically, if you see Kanye right now, you forgive him.
I forgive him for anything he said about my music, because that means nothing. If I see Kanye, if Kanye walked in the room right now, I would give him a hug, I would give him a pound, I would show him love, and the moment he got comfortable, I would say, what's up with that Nazi shit, bro?
Right.
Because we have to hold each other accountable.
Yes.
The whole,
like I was saying earlier, we got to communicate more.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I got love for Kanye, and I could see myself in an alternate future, even in this future, rekindling and rebuilding a relationship with him.
Right. That's big of you.
But when you called me, this is what I remember I said to you, and it clicked for you. Because I said, NORE, it dropped like a Saturday night, the second one, right? And I said, NORE.
Sunday morning.
Right? I said, look at
No, we recorded it Sunday. No, Saturday. You're right. Saturday morning we recorded it, and we dropped it on Sunday morning.
Right. And I said, NORE.
I didn't look through the edit.
You edit now, though.
Yeah. They call me NORE editor.
Right. But I said to you, I said, NORE, look at the comments.
Yep.
I said, look at the comments. And if you look at the comments on that initial second episode, it's a bunch of like white people.
Like bigging him up. Yeah.
Not bigging him up. Bigging Nick Fuentes up.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
they was talking about.
I didn't know who Nick Fuentes was.
Exactly. They was talking about Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, you kept telling me that. You're right. You did.
All in the comments, they were like, Nick Fuentes. I'm already knowing Nick Fuentes is a Nazi. So I'm calling Nazi.
And that's the guy who got punched in his face,
right?
No,
that's Richard Spencer.
Okay, all right.
Nick Fuentes is the guy that Kanye ended up hiring after he did Drink Champs to run his campaign. Yep. Nick Fuentes is a Nazi. He says a bunch of Nazi shit all the time. That's just what he's on.
Right.
And so I said to you, Kanye doesn't, because he big Nick Fuentes up on your show.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was.
And I said, you don't know who that is.
Yep.
And you was like, damn, that's not what I was trying to do.
Word. It was from that moment on that I know politics is not my game.
So was it when we had Russell Simmons on? That was the moment. Because that was a whole different.
That was a learning experience as well. Amanda Seales is somebody I respect a lot. I love Amanda. And Amanda's story sometimes is not sometimes, but it's real. And yeah, when I first had Russell Simmons on, it wasn't good. Everyone was critiquing him, and you got to realize I don't want to defend myself because if I'm wrong, right? Right. If I was wrong for having him, it was a Black Lives Matter episode. I had you, Bun B. Who else did I have? My son. Like I was trying.
Mark Lamont Hill.
I was trying to do the right thing. I might have picked the wrong moment.
Let me just add this, and I don't even know if we're gonna keep it,
right?
Because this might just be my own thing, but I don't fuck with Amanda Seales. Amanda Seales, I don't think she's a good gauge for anything. Okay. Amanda Seales is brilliant.
Okay.
Amanda Seales is highly intelligent. Okay. She is someone who has spoken out and used her voice for the culture. When I was recording my first album with High Tech, she was in the studio with us back then. I've known Amanda Seales since she was Amanda Diva. Okay. When she was trying to get on Hot 97 and before she got on MTV and everything. But I've had people make slanderous, outlandish allegations about me that Amanda Seales has co-signed. You know what I'm saying? And then Amanda Seales would be in my DMs after she co-signed some foul shit about me. And I questioned her about this. I said, Amanda, well, why would you be in my DMs and why would you be liking my post if you don't fuck with me? And her response was, well, I believe the people, I believe victims. She was accusing me of some shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so this is something, I've never actually shared this with nobody.
Oh, wow.
But I'm very, very Amanda Seales got to calm down with that shit because she don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, anyway, that's
but if she was a victim, then you could understand how she could side with the victim.
That's correct. And but I also have a history in this, so you have to acknowledge my history of who I am to this culture and acknowledge that if you hear something about me, that you have to not just weigh what this person who said what they said, but also have to weigh who I am, my character.
I've been having the most learning lessons of life, like. I always big up Cormega for giving me this compliment. Cormega says, listen, man, you're learning on the job. And it's truly what I'm doing. Like, I don't know politically correct ways to do this. I know that this is something I love. I love sitting down talking to you. Me and you film a podcast every 2 weeks. We just don't have cameras around.
That's right.
We speak, we talk. We don't always agree on opinions. You tell me this, I tell you this, and we also agree to disagree. And it's like, and I feel like our relationship has gotten even stronger, which is like, this is the most unique for me. Because if most of the time, if someone says something about another artist on a podcast, that artist is calling me trying to take my head off. How could you let me do that? How could you do that? And the thing is, I don't want to edit. And now I learned that some things should be edited. But if people would have actually seen the unedited version, holy moly. Like even Dave, a lot of people don't know this. Dave Chappelle, obviously, let me not call him Dave, so like y'all thinking I'm talking about any, because there's 15 million Daves in the world. But even Dave episode, like, I wanted people to see the true version of how this interaction was. It was so organic. It was just, you gotta realize, we called each other, said, yo, look, man, Dave probably can't get on camera.
So let me give you context so you can go into that story. Yasin Bey, we had the Black Star album out. And Yasin Bey famously doesn't do interviews.
Yes. And I love the fact that he did.
He said, are you going to do any interviews?
Right.
He goes, there's 2 interviews I'll do.
Right.
I'll do the hot sauce interview with the niggas with the hot sauce.
Yeah, the wings. Hot ones.
Hot ones. I'll do hot ones, which we didn't get to do. And I'll do drink champs.
Well, I'm glad you did drink champs.
Yes. Let's get the drink champs clap going on.
Yes. I didn't know that.
And I said,
but I know he didn't do interviews though.
And I said, okay. I said, well, drink champs, well, NORE, that's family.
Right.
So that's nothing but a word.
Right.
So I called you.
Yes.
And I said, NORE, Yasin Bey is in America, which is rare.
Rare.
He's in Ohio.
Yeah.
We want to do drink champs. NORE was like, I'll get the private jet.
Yes.
And I'll fly to Yellow Springs, Ohio.
Yes.
And we'll film that. And he's like, yo, that's Dave Chappelle's town.
Right.
And he was like, yo, is Dave going to be there? And I'm like, yo, Dave will be there. But I asked Dave, I said, Dave, will you do drink champs with me? And we're going to do a Black Star drink champs.
Right.
Dave was like, this is Dave's exact words. He said, I can't be on drink champs.
Right.
But what I'm going to do is, since it's going to be filmed in the shack, in his spot, I'm going to do a NASCAR wave.
Right.
He didn't do that, but that's what he said he was going to do.
Yeah, because so this is the reason why.
Come more context, right?
Cool.
So I called you, and this is where I have to take responsibility because I fucked up. Because the Dave Chappelle is my friend, and he's gonna listen to me. If I say NORE wants to do drink champs, he's gonna say yes. If I say we filming this, he's gonna say yes. But he's also an industry. He's also a business, and I didn't consider that. I was just so excited that I was connecting my friends. I didn't consider there's a whole operation that goes beyond me about Dave Chappelle doing an interview. Shout out to Carla. I didn't contact his people. I just set it up.
And you know what you said to me? I'm going to cut you off for 1 second. You said, this is what made me forgive the whole situation. Because at first I was like, damn, why wouldn't Dave Chappelle, like, we did nothing wrong. So let me just say what I intaked what happened.
Yes.
I called you rather. You said, yo, I got Black Star. And I believe it was LA first. He was like, we're in LA. But I was like, damn, I don't think I can make it to LA. He said, but we're going to be in Ohio. So I said, oh, okay. Maybe we could get, make it a whole thing with Dave. So at the very last minute, he was like, I believe it was you saying yeah, but then at the very last minute, it was like, yo, Dave can't be on film. He can't be on camera. Because remember, like, I hate calling this guy the attacker, but the attacker first happened. It was right after the attacker. So I was like, holy shit. And by the way, that's like kind of like ill, calling somebody the attacker. So I was just like, all right, cool. Did we call him Carl or something? What's his name? Like,
Carl the attacker.
Carl the attacker. So at the very last minute, we like, yo, you call, he said, yo, man, Dave said he can't do it, but don't worry, you're not gonna lose nothing. So it was like, all right, cool. And this is the reason why
you was already on your way at that point.
I was already on my way. I was already to the private plane. And by the way, they don't unswipe your card.
No, you said that too. You told me how much the plane cost.
I was like, oh, we fucked up. Right. Like, and Revolta's never fucking with us again. Like, I knew this. Right. But when we landed, this is the reason why I wanted to keep it in its entirety. But when we landed, it was like we were there for Black Star, but Dave couldn't resist.
It was
so organic.
Yeah.
And like, it was like he went from, I'm not gonna be on camera, to he just jumped out of nowhere with a mic. And it was
Waka Waka.
It was so hilarious.
Right.
It was so put together. It was exactly what we wanted. And then we went back and forth with Carla, big up Carla. We went back and forth with Corey
Smith.
Corey Smith. We went there, and you said something to me that just soothed the whole situation. You said, Nori, he's my friend. And sometimes I don't understand how famous he is. That shit meant so much to me. Because that's the truth. Like, sometimes you sitting next to somebody that you probably, okay, y'all friends. You his friend, he's your friend. But there's people who's protected him. There's people who was sitting back and critiquing every move that he makes because they're not trying, it's not doing it in a wrong way, but they're not trying to lose, or they're not trying to put a person in a position. And that's their actual job. And I didn't understand that at the time. So I was a little mad. And then when you said that to me, that shit just made so much sense. I was just like, yo, I had no rebuttal. I was just like, wow, that is true. Like, I don't know how famous sometimes I am.
Right.
So imagine Dave fucking Chappelle. That statement that you said, it soothed me. I immediately forgave him. And then it was crazy because I didn't see him. We didn't speak. We didn't nothing. And then Cypher Sounds calls me. He goes, yo, you in Dallas? And I go, yeah. He goes, well, me and Dave Chappelle is in Texas. Mind you, me and Dave ain't speak since then. So I'm like, are you sure?
And we filmed for about 2 hours and about 45 minutes.
It's only 45 minutes. So I had to tell him, because I didn't know, was it Dave? I didn't know if it was coming from Dave. So I had told Cypher Sounds, I said, yo, Cypher, can you make sure Dave know you invited me? He said, yeah, it was Dave Eyes did. Like he basically called me an idiot. He's like, duh. Like, duh. Like I showed him you was in Dallas, and he was like, and then I got to see him. And Dave is just the man's man. You know, I won't disclose the conversation because I do know that we're filmed. But I wouldn't disclose the conversation. But it made me realize who we are in general. Like, sometimes there's people that's in a position to protect us, and sometimes they might be protecting us more than we need to be protected. But the fact is, they're there for that job. They're there for that job. Like, it's like my friends right now, like, you know, Sonny is here, you know, to make me laugh and make me, you know what I mean, for him to be funny. And then my man Diego's there to be like kind of like serious. Like, this is these people's jobs. Like, and who was I to like kind of like try to change their job? I didn't understand that till you said that. You said, Dave is my friend. He hasn't even done People's Party. I think that's what you said.
That's right. He still ain't done People's Party.
And you said, well, let me just tell you something, Nori. Sometimes I forget how famous he is. So I was like, that shit just made so much sense to me. And like, it made me zen. Because I was like, damn, you know what? If Talib forgets how famous he is, I don't even know half of it. All I see is Dave in motherfucking arenas, sold out for 30,000 people, and then I might get to see him smoke cigarettes after. You know what I'm saying? With some Japanese whiskey out there. And it made me realize, holy shit. It made me realize the responsibility that he has as a public figure. And it made me realize that my people do the same thing.
That's right.
In a different level. A different level. But I was, to tell you the truth, because we had 2 hours and 40 minutes or 2 hours and 12 minutes. It's something, one of those. And when I tell you this is the most hilarious shit I've ever seen, because Dave is naturally a funny person. Like, he doesn't need a script. He doesn't, and you got to see it. So eventually I'm gonna want to fly to Yellow Springs and just play it for him. The whole entirety. We don't never have to use it. But that was like a real experience for us with Drink Champs, because we had to humble ourselves and say, you know what? Our relationship with Dave is way bigger than the content of this interview.
I'm glad that I'm part of the 2 episodes that made you want to edit.
God damn it.
Somehow,
What's wrong with you, Talib? What is going on?
I'm involved.
Thank you for throwing that out there. It's him, man. It's him, guys.
So anybody in the comments who wants to blame Drink Champs for editing now, send that blame my way.
No, and that's beautiful.
I also want to say that, you know, shout out to Rosa Clemente.
Okay, yeah.
Because we had a whole
beef,
conversation
right?
about the whole with that Black Lives Matter episode.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
you know, she's Puerto Rican, and she called me. She's like, "Nore's Puerto Rican. Get me on the phone with him." You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yes. Listen, I actually was a fan of her. I really wanted her to DM me or something or hit you first. The problem was she went straight to the internet.
Yeah, y'all was arguing on Twitter for a second.
I couldn't understand. Like, you don't understand.
She's passionate.
Yes, but you don't understand how it feels to be critiqued by your own people when you knew, like, I didn't know better, but I realized that I can't say I don't know better no more. I have to start knowing better.
That's what I want to get to, because you used to do something on your show that you don't do anymore since that era. You used to be on your show like, I'm an idiot. I don't read. I don't this and that and this. And it wasn't that you are those things.
Right.
You just want to let people know.
Yeah, like don't put me to the level of a politician. That's what I was trying to establish. Go ahead. My bad.
I saw you on. You haven't done an interview in a long time. Shout out to Juan Epstein.
Yes,
you know, that's the podcast pioneers.
Yes.
Shout out to Elliot and B-Dot. One of the last real interviews we did was on Rap Radar.
Yes.
And I like that Rap Radar interview because they care about the culture.
Yeah, they do.
And I like the different perspectives. I like to see how Elliot and you were schooling B-Dot on certain things that he wasn't outside.
Yep.
You know, one thing that you said on that podcast was, you said, I'm not a journalist. And if people learn something from my show, I might be offended.
Right.
That was 2016.
Right.
Fast forward to 2023, you and me on the phone, and I hope I'm not telling too much of your business.
No problem.
But you said, wow, Talib, I'm a journalist.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was a journalist.
Well, I'm a medialist.
Okay.
Because I'm technically not, but I technically am, because I'm delivering information that you are learning from now.
Yes.
And I didn't know that.
Yes.
Like, to tell you the truth, our very first podcast was with Fat Joe. I couldn't believe anybody watched this. The reason why I couldn't believe anybody watched it is me and Fat Joe didn't break no stories. He talked about the same pun stories that he had, and I talked about the same pun stories that I had.
And Elliot and them still got mad at you. Like,
yeah, they was But what I'm trying to say is, I didn't realize my responsibility as not maybe a journalist, but as a media guy. Like, I'm delivering like I didn't realize this shit, Talib. Like, I'm walking through airports and these people are saying, yo, episode 137. You remember when you said such and such at 12.5 seconds and such and such? And I'm looking like, no, I don't remember that, motherfucker. Like, no. But what I realized is I was trying to be an entertainer. Just the entertainer, just be entertaining. But some people was taking this information, which is real information, and they're taking everything literal. And I had to start learning to change. I had to start learning to be like, okay, I have to have somewhat of a responsibility. Then I thought they just wanted me to be an idiot. I thought they wanted me to just be that guy, like, oh, I don't read, I don't do this. You know, that's what I thought they wanted me to do. Until I realized I actually do have a responsibility. I have a responsibility to deliver to my audience who is dependent on me. Like, even the haters, because I see you can't let a hater live at all. Oh my God, Tyler. Where's Sonny go? Where's Sonny right there? Sonny, what listen, almost every morning he be like, Talib at it again. Yo, I swear to God, my boy Sonny, I don't know. Yo, listen.
Your page.
I don't know if he's your stalker or if he just, but every time you beefing online, he be like, yo, Talib, going in.
I do it so y'all don't have to do it.
Yes, so you really like engage. Like, nobody engages like you. Like, you really, And you're into it. Like he said, you be on other people's pages arguing.
It's fun.
Like,
I have fun. I have fun
You
doing
like,
I love a healthy discourse.
yeah, but I didn't understand I had a responsibility to the culture. Like, you got to realize, we talked about it. Like, when I came home from jail, I was the soberest person. I even have a line on the NORE part where I say, I don't even drink like that. I sell crack. And that's changed, obviously.
You don't even sell crack like that.
No, I don't sell crack at all. Yes, but now I drink. But so I didn't. So that's what I'm saying. Like, from my career changing to me doing this, I didn't understand my responsibility. I didn't understand that even though I was trying to be ignorant, I still had to show them my smartness. I still had to show them that I'm intelligent. I still had to keep them in. And when I learned that, that's when I feel like everything got better for us. You know what I mean? And when I say I learned it, I'm learning it with EFN. I'm not claiming the success by myself. But it was a changing moment. It was like, because like you said, I knew that second interview. I knew it. I called you for advice. So even if I was doubting myself, I should have stayed back. Like, going through turmoil sometimes is the best thing you could happen in life. Like, remember your moms told you don't touch the fucking stove? But your ass still touched the stove. And you got that little bump on your finger from the bubble. But if you didn't touch that stove, you wouldn't have learned that she wasn't playing. That stove is hot. So that's what we've been going through. Like, we've been fortunate enough to have great episodes where it's just through the roof. And then we had episodes where it was just like, wow, maybe I regretted that one. Maybe we should have took this part out. And what's crazy, again, like I told you with the Foxy Brown Bang Bang vocals, if you hear the other vocals she had, this is the least disrespectful, the least dumbed down. And if you kind of hear like other episodes we regretted, it's a lot worse. So we edited to a certain extent, but we didn't edit overall. And for that, I regret that. You know, I told Kanye that. He told me. You know, a lot of people don't understand is that he called me and asked for the episode to be taken down.
Yeah.
I told him, this is my exact words to him, was I felt like I helped Black people love you the first episode. And I felt like I took that all away with the second episode. Like, I felt like, holy shit, the same Black audience that you might have lost. Like, he told me, yo, Black women talk to me again for the first episode.
Right.
And I didn't realize.
When he was being a poser. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't realize. No, I didn't realize.
I'm going to let that go. Keep going.
I didn't realize that he was going through that.
Yeah,
that he was going through.
As Black women go, so will the nation.
Yes.
You know? Like,
so when he told me, like, that was I went from having one of the best compliments to like one of the worst. Like, he told me, yo, you got Black women to love me again. That was dope. You know how dope I felt?
That's a lot of power.
My moms. I was like, yo, I got Black women that love Kanye again. They love Kanye again. And then the next interview,
right.
It was like Black people just, oh my God. Like, it was scary and it was rushed. I did so much. And I was in a winning spree of my time. I was winning. And I'm going to tell you what the problem was with that. I wanted to spike the ball.
Well, see, that leads into my last question.
Okay, cool.
And you wanted to spike the ball.
Yes, I did.
At a time when you was nominated for Podcast of the Year of BET.
Yeah.
Which I've never received a nomination for BET.
Yeah, we all mad, BET.
But at first, and I gotta big up Diddy,
right,
because Brother Love has been such a huge force in the culture.
Yeah.
He's so important to the culture.
Yes.
And this is not a gossip show.
Yeah.
I don't know who's sleeping with who, what relationships.
I don't care.
I don't care. We don't.
And contrary to popular belief, I'm happy for Carisha.
Yes, and you said her name. And listen, not only am I happy for Carisha, but I'm actually a huge fan of City Girls.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan too.
As a DJ, I play their records.
Yep.
I like what they doing. I like the fact that she has a podcast. I like the fact that she's winning. But let's keep it a buck.
Right.
I call my podcast the world's best podcast.
Okay, that's
because
cool.
that's how I feel.
Yes,
you should feel that way about your podcast. She should feel her way about that podcast.
I agree.
But when it comes to this hip hop culture,
right,
there's certain things that people are doing culturally,
right,
that I feel like BET, and this has nothing to do with Carisha.
Right.
Nothing to do with Young Miami.
My statement had nothing to do with Carisha. Yeah.
I'm like Issa Rae. I'm rooting for everybody black.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm rooting for her success, but I'm also rooting for the truth.
Yeah.
And I'm also rooting for accountability. And I'm also rooting for not revisionist history. Right. BET has never been a black-owned company. Even when Robert Johnson owned it, he's a billionaire. Right. His focus was on capitalism, not on black people. He understood that black people make money. I don't think Robert Johnson did BET because he's like, I'm trying to do something for black people.
Right.
He's like, this is a moneymaker.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I have respect for that too.
Right.
I don't consider myself a capitalist. I benefit from living and growing up in a capitalist system. I still wear Nikes and all that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I try to stay away from capitalist ideals.
Understood.
Right? So I'm not mad at somebody who's a hustler. I'm not mad at somebody for getting money and this and that. But I do consider myself a curator of this culture.
Yeah,
and when it comes to this culture, what Drink Champs does is very important.
Yeah.
What you and EFN do is very important. It can't be understated. You have to know as NORE, when you go in the world and the way that people respond to you based on Drink Champs is very cultural.
Yes.
People's Party, we don't do the numbers that Drink Champs does.
Right.
But even though we don't do the numbers that Drink Champs does, or that Joe Button does, or that Math Hoffa does, I know for a fact that when I run into an artist, when I run into Little C's, and when I run into Michael Bivins, and when I run into NORE, when I run into an artist, they're like, I have to do your show.
Yeah, you have to do
that
your
means
show.
more than any numbers.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so what I'm just saying is that I'm reclaiming my time. I know for a fact that for People's Party, for 3 years straight, with hardly any breaks, we done given you some of the best interviews. And like you said, you wasn't always trying to be a journalist. I came in trying to be a journalist. So I know from our episodes with Lil Kim, to Jon Stewart, to Ice Cube and them, to now NORE, I know the work that we do. And I'm proud of it. And I know that nobody is putting it down like People's Party. Nobody is doing the research.
And let me say something, pardon me for cutting you off.
No,
but
please,
let me
go
say
on.
something, because I sent out a tweet, and it was really more so responding to the fans. The fans was hitting me and saying, hey, what the hell is this going on? Like 2 years in a row. And like, God bless, because like I said, I have no Young Miami. She did Drink Champs. It's the work that we put in over that next year for the next award show that I'm not mad at her. If you win, you win. Like, God bless me. Like, God bless you, excuse me. I'm mad at the people. I'm mad at the society. I'm mad at, and I'm not mad, by the way.
Right.
I'm making a joke. I'm critiquing because, like,
constructive criticism.
If I go and I have a glass of wine and I say, this wine is not for me, that doesn't make me a hater. It's just this wine ain't for me.
Right.
And I need to understand why. Now,
everything ain't for everybody.
Everything ain't just for everybody. And at the end of the day, it's a lot of people that work hard. It's a lot of people. We're changing the face of media. No ifs, ands, or but about it. Like, God bless me for saying this, but for years, we would have to go do black radio with black people not there. We would have to do, like, we know iHeart is owned by non-black people. We know that MS Broadcast is owned by non-black people. We know this. It's not a game. It's not a rumor. This is real things. So now that we're finally claiming that media space, like if Nas was to do an interview right now and he was to do just Drink Champs, do you know the power that he just gives Drink Champs? Do you know the power that he gives People's Party? Because every other outlet will pick it up. It's just, it got to be exclusive to us. And when it's exclusive to us, it gives us a power. Like, God bless me, I love Jay-Z. He sat down with Gayle King. I get it. It's a great relationship. Dope. I have I'm a Ace
Gail
of
King
Spades guy.
is also Team Chappelle as well. She be around.
I'm a Dave, but what I would rather him sit with the People's Party. Would I would rather him sit with Joe Budden's podcast or Drink Champs or $1 Million Worth of Game? Of course. Because we're finally in a space of us owning our own everything.
Yeah.
And podcast has helped for that. Like so many people, like I listen to Gilly say that he can't be blackballed no more. And if I don't think he was ever blackballed, but if that's true, let me big up Gilly. If that's true, podcast did that for us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see Joe Budden. I don't agree with a lot of shit Joe Budden do, bro. Like, but that's my man.
Yeah, man.
I call him. I say, yo, hey, man.
Right.
Hey, man. You be playing. You be lighting the mats and just staying there.
And Joe, let's just put this on the table.
Yes, that's
Joe was doing this before anybody saw a future in it.
Yes, he
when
did.
He was live streaming and you streaming and all that. He'd been in the space for a minute.
What Joe he doesn't care, and what's so beautiful about it is like what we got right now is so beautiful. Like it's so beautiful.
I just want to add on. I see you and Joe Buttons talk about,
let's get to it.
Which I was talking about with podcasters and rappers. I just want to say that out of all these podcasters, I'm still dropping albums.
Yes.
I don't know what y'all talking about.
No.
I got two new albums out this year.
But let me clarify as I'm asking for another bottle to be popped.
Yeah.
Because it made me sound like I was talking about all rappers, right?
Right. I didn't take it like that.
It's how I delivered it. And after I watched it, I said, okay, I can see how certain people can take this the wrong way. This is what I meant. So many of your favorite rappers seen me lit, seen it going down.
Right.
And they came and met me either here, they met me either there or there, and they soaked up all the game from me.
You're not lying. I don't think you said anything wrong.
Yes, they soaked up all the game. Let me tell you what they did. And then they went and they signed to these other non-hip-hop companies. I'm not saying non-black. I'm saying non-hip-hop. It's a big difference because I believe hip-hop is a race. And
artists are to make it even bigger. For me, I agree. Artists is my tribe.
Yes, artists is my tribe. Yes. I'm
all that.
Yep.
But my tribe is not based on race.
Yes, it's not based on race. It's based on, and so many of them came to me, and they took all the knowledge that I gave them, and they went and got money with a person that is non-hip hop, and I laughed at them. I did. I can't lie. Like I don't come to me, soak up game, and then when it's time to actually do business, you go to the exact opposite of what we was just talking about. That's not fair to me. My time is valuable. Like when I'm on the phone with you, I don't bullshit with you. You don't bullshit with me.
That's right.
Like we have, I don't think we've ever had a non-real conversation. I feel like every time we converse, it's always been progressive, something that is positive and something that is built. Even when we had a couple of disagreements, not me and you, but I'm saying the disagreements around that. It's always been a certain way. So basically, you respect my time and I respect your time.
That's right.
When an artist fly out here and we go to dinner and they say, well, NORE, how I'm gonna do this? How I'm gonna do this? And then you go sign to somebody and then you think you could do what I do and then you fail. I'm not laughing at the failure. I'm not laughing at you failing, but I'm laughing at you not believing. You believed you took every single thing that I said and you applied it, but you applied it to you doing it. That ain't right. You can't do that in no other game.
Right.
Name me another game where you could go to McDonald's and be like, you McDonald's, so how y'all make y'all cheeseburgers? What is this special sauce? I need to know what's in this special sauce.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you take that same special sauce, you take that same recipe, and you make McDowell's, right?
Right.
And then McDowell's tanks. You mean to tell me You're not gonna be a little upset. You're not gonna be. I'm not human now. Like people made it seem like I was like this big character. I ain't no big character. I'm a humble.
I don't think you told any lies what you said on that show.
What I said, yeah, I was being upfront because what I meant
the truth can be harsh sometimes.
Yeah, the truth can be harsh, but it's the truth. It's the truth. You can't come see me and hang out with me and then get all this knowledge from me and then go get in quote unquote what you probably thought was my enemy.
Right.
You probably got down with the same exact person that I told you, look, these guys are this and this and this. I don't do things like that. And that's what I meant. I wasn't dissing rappers.
Yeah, I only brought it up because like what Nas has recently said when he's talking about his run with Hit Boy, legendary run. Right. You know what I'm saying? Nas made a comment, and I'm paraphrasing, about how he wants to see rappers not retire. How he wants to see rappers still, you know, just make music for fun. Like, why y'all not making music? Right. And I've always been on that type of time. A hit NORE, a hit dog will holler.
Yes.
The reason why I personally didn't take offense to what you said is because when I heard it, he's not talking about me.
Nah.
Because I just dropped the album.
You shouldn't.
I'm still a rapper.
And by the way, I was saying unsuccessful rappers. You're a successful rapper. I don't think any rapper should have took that person.
You know, I use the term failed rappers all the time.
Okay.
Because when I'm arguing with people online, I call people failed rappers all the time. Yeah. And there's been times when people have gotten upset.
Didn't Drake just call out the Joe Budden?
He did.
Yeah, Drake,
and so that I'm
gonna
bring that up. So shout out to my man DJ Talib. He used to dance for Brand Nubian. Okay. I had some failed rappers dissing me, and I called them failed rappers, and he challenged me on that. It's my man, God Body dude. He challenged me. He said, "Yo, I don't think you should be using that term because there's a lot of people who are not making money in it, and a lot of people who love the culture and this and that." I said, "Listen, I'm not talking about them. If you someone who raps and it didn't work out for you, you got a 9 to 5, you drive a bus, you work in transit, that's not being a failed rapper. You still part of the culture. Yeah. I'm good with that because I've never judged success based on radio hits or none of that. A failed rapper is a nigga who troll me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you feel the need, if you think you're gonna gain clap by trolling me, you a failed rapper. If you out there rapping because you a MAGA rapper, or you rapping on behalf of Donald Trump, you a failed rapper. If you a rapper that's out there dissing me, talking about I drive foreigns and this and that and this, and you not outside getting it like this, you a failed rapper. My son recently made a post about what Drake said about Joe Budden. And he said, and shout out to my son, because my son is on your records early.
Yes.
And my son is one of my favorite.
Yousef interview.
That's right. He popped up, you know, because I was doing Bronx things.
Yeah, that was fire.
Bronx niggas roll up.
That's fire.
And my son did a post criticizing Drake for calling Joe Budden a failed rapper. Now, let's be clear. I'm a fan of Drake. I'm a super fan of Drake. I think Drake is amazing. I'm going to go to the Drake concert. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to buy the Drake album, all that. I'm also a fan of Joe Budden.
Me too.
I'm a fan of Joe Budden as an MC. I'm a fan of him as a media entity.
Yes.
I don't agree with Drake's assessment of Joe Budden's career. There's things that Drake said about Joe Budden that I do agree with.
Okay.
But I don't agree that Joe Budden is a failed rapper.
Okay.
Because Joe Budden was a very successful rapper who just made different choices. And I said on my son's page, I said, I know for a fact that my son don't get rapper show money. I know for a fact that my son is not out here making big money rap deals.
Right.
But my son is way more well known now than he was before he went to jail. And he's way more well known because he leaned into the social justice aspect. He leaned into fighting for the people. What my son represents to me is not just he's not a failed rapper, he's actually one of the most successful rappers because he's so famous as a rapper for representing for the people. That to me is a success story.
You correct.
You know what I'm saying?
You correct. I mean, yo, like,
but I say all that to say there are failed rappers out there.
There are failed rappers. There's so many people, like I said, that took advice that didn't take advice. I wouldn't go down and sit down with Jay-Z. Like, I would take the $500,000 dinner.
You sat down with Jay-Z though. You don't count.
Yeah, but I would have still took the dinner, right?
Right.
And the reason why is because that, to me, if you could make me go forward, if I could get knowledge of you to make me make more money or make me more successful, that to me is better than upfront money.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I was just at Lil Combs' event, and Jay is still a Brooklyn dude. Like, I came over to him with the mic. He was like, why don't you do that? And to me, that is more than the 500 grand.
Mm-hmm.
It's more to me than getting knowledge, right? Every executive I ever met, they always told me, you have too many people with you.
Mm.
It's distracting. I don't know who's who. Jay-Z is the only person in the world that told me the best trait about you is you having your crew with you.
Sparse.
Grant Cardone told me the same advice. He said, you know what? I love your crew. And I love that you have your crew around you. These are 2 billionaires.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm not dissing millionaires because I'm not Kanye. Like, but
I see you have a chain.
Yeah, I got a chain. I'm definitely just a millionaire. It's not no billions. It's not here. Yeah, not yet. I'm trying, goddammit. But it made me realize that, holy shit, Jay-Z's peace of mind is having Emery around. Jay-Z's peace of mind is having Tata around. Yeah. Jay-Z's peace of mind is having Biggs around. And he can tell me, he can look at me and say, some of the best things that you doing right now is you being around your crew. That shit touched me. That shit made me move forward in a different direction. It made me want to say, oh, okay, I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I'm doing the right thing. And like I said, Grant Cardone, he came around us in 2 minutes. He was like, hey, how y'all doing? Boom, boom, boom. Damn, NORE, you got a crew. Yeah, boom, boom. Then Sonny said, I'm giving you 4,000. I need you to make me 4 million. He's like, I'm in. like he got the joke. Like he got the joke. Like he wasn't offended. And what I'm saying is a lot of times in life, we go with the tradition. And the tradition is, hey, man, you go with just you and your friend to a meeting. You show up early. No, still show up early. But if they don't love your friends, they might not love you. It's a reflection. Like if I walk in a room and a person treats Talib wrong, knowing that Talib just walked in the room with me, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Because they have to respect your conglomerate. They have to respect your unit. They have to respect your unity. And when a person can't, and the person can't see that, that's a problem. And that's the compliments that one of the richest guys I know, who I have his phone number, gives me. It's like, yo, you don't turn your back on your crew. You want a private jet is nothing, NORE. You want a private jet with your homies is everything.
And you definitely took the whole Drink Champs crew
I did. Yes, I did.
On a private jet.
High five.
You know what I'm saying?
And
to Yellow Springs. I love it.
And by the way, you don't even understand. And I know we way over an hour because I know, but we good.
No, it's beautiful.
You don't understand the morale that boosts for the next man. If a man is a hustler or a woman is a hustler or somebody, and they get a chance to roll with you, and they get a chance to be in these environments, they should immediately upgrade their self. You know what I mean? Like one of the best stories I ever heard was that Jay-Z turned down the Puma deal. And Emery said, let me step it up. Now I'm paraphrasing. I don't know if this is exactly the way it happened. But what I'm saying is, that's how great we should be. It's like, yo, if I could turn down this and then my boy step up, that's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard. Indeed. Like, he's not asking me for money. He's saying, I'm going to make my own money. Like, that's what it is. I want to make bosses. I don't want to make a person who has to rely on me. I did that in the past. I did that where everyone is, you know what I mean? Like, I'm taking care of 50 people and no, I want to put you in a position to where you're the man. I want to put other people, like, that shit is so dope going out and everybody's buying their old bottles. And everyone is sitting there and we just all having a good time and it's like, all right, cool. This is really what it is. This is really what it is I'm sorry because Jay might kill me for this. But he also told me another great thing. He said, I live where I live. I don't live in the place I live. I live where I live. Like, I do my own parties. I have people come to me. He like, me, Tata, Emery, we have people come to us.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I don't know if y'all understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I do. I get it.
He can live anywhere in the world. He has access to live anywhere in the world. In all actuality, he still lives with his homies. That's what he was trying to tell me. It's like, you're so much greater when you can make somebody else great and they recognize their greatness and be great. And then make other people great. Like, I seen Tata just sign a fucking deal with India.
The country.
The country. This is unheard of. This dude is from Marcy Projects. He's the friend of a friend. And Tata just closed a deal with Universal India, some shit like that. Like, I ain't no Bali out there making. No, that's not. Bali's a whole nother country. I didn't know. Oh, what is it called? The Bollywood. I didn't know. I didn't know Bollywood was that crazy. But he's out there making deals. He flew out here the other day, and I hit Tata. He was like, "Yo, bro, I gotta do this deal. I gotta finish this, that." That shit made me feel so good. And you know what it made me do? Want to help my friends. Like, Tata is now one of the most powerful people in the industry. So is Emery. You know what I'm saying? Lenny's. These are people who are. These are big figures. And now they made it so big that people ain't fucking with them just because of Jay-Z. They fucking with them for their own intelligence.
That's right.
And that's what I love. That to me is like, that's my goal. So that's why when Jay said that to me, he said it to me 2 or 3 times. He's like, yo, you keeping your crew around you? Because one, what he's saying to me is, you keeping based. You keeping your shit down. You keeping your sanity by having and by not going into these other worlds. Like, if I go to LA, I'm in LA, but I'm in Norrieville.
You're in your own, yeah.
If I go to New Orleans, I'm in New Orleans, but I'm in NORE, an old part of New Orleans. When I go to New York, I'm in New York. But I'm a part of my own part of New York. I don't have to participate in everyone else's world. And that has been a blessing to me. It has been one of the greatest blessings to me. You know, you asked me earlier, and I don't know if my wife is still here because I ain't gonna try to show off for her. But you asked me earlier, like, that's the reason why I have my wife with me, with my crew. And we're like not a part of the society anymore. We're part of our own society, not secret society.
I understand what you mean.
Let's not spread the Illuminati rumors.
All we ask is trust.
But that changed my life. That changed my world. To see the growth in people, to see how hip hop has really, really changed the world. And I'm not saying this as a cliche. I'm saying this because it's true. Like, I remember me trying to live in the high society. And what I mean by that is, like, go to the nice restaurants, go vacation, and me not seeing nobody from hip-hop. So now I can't see nobody without hip-hop.
No doubt.
Hip-hop has really grew. It really has been a blessing to all of us. And I'm so happy to say this. It's not just black people. Like, I was watching a documentary the other day, and they was like trying to describe how Puerto Ricans was a part of hip hop.
Is this the Jesse Terrero?
I believe so.
Yeah.
But when you look, there's white people in every scene. Like, okay, we're recognizing the Puerto Ricans. We are. Let's just be clear. But Martin Luther King always had somebody walking with him. So what I'm trying to tell you is, there's a great person in every society. we have to accept that. Like I said, it's hip hop. Like I want to bleed hip hop because I will automatically judge you if you know the adventures of Slick Rick.
Yes.
Like I think you're a good person.
Yes. It's
Like,
a litmus test.
You can be the most idiot, foulest murderer in the world.
Right, but if you sing "Hey Young World,"
But if you sing "Hang Young World," you got me. Like if you sing "Mona Lisa," I'm being honest, my guards is down. Mona Lisa, if you like, and that's because like I really am. I don't want to say hip hop, but I really am hip hop. I really eat, bleed this shit. I love that Talib Kweli is my friend. And man, we want a Black Star album, bro. We want like I love that I can still be your fan and your friend at the same time.
I feel the same.
This society has made it so just because I disagree with you don't make me a hater. And just because you disagree with me don't make you hating on me. Like we have to come back to the time where I can say, yo, Talib, I drank some Ace Spade last night and it didn't go too good for me. You're supposed to say, yo, NORE, I told you stop that, doing that. That doesn't make you a hater for telling me your opinion on how I conducted myself or whatever. But that's what the society is. If I have a difference of opinion, you call me a hater or you call me whatever. And I just don't come from that era. I come from an era where I can critique you.
Yeah.
I can say, I didn't like what you did right then and there. So that's what it is.
No doubt.
I love it. I love real relationships. That's why I love our relationship. You know, a lot of people don't know it. I don't post every time. I don't get off the phone with you and be like, yo, me and Talib just spoke for 2.5 hours.
Right.
Like we on 2.5, 3 hours right now. We don't care.
Right.
Because it's just natural, right? But I love our relationship. I love that you can say, yo,
That's
listen,
right.
NORE, I didn't like that interview. I didn't really get it. But I understood the position you was at. And boom, boom. And I could vice versa. We could be like, yo, bro, yo, man, you know, the Dave situation, I wasn't ready for it. Because I hadn't been told no in so long that being told no was like, really?
That's exactly what you said too. You said, I don't like being told no.
Yes, because I don't get it.
Right.
Like, I'm going to try to get you to say yes so bad that if you say no, it's like, whoa. Like, I didn't think of that part. Like, because I before I call you, I'm going to think of every 7 scenarios for you to say yes. So if I still be told no after that, I'm just not used to it. Because I'm really an artist. Like, I want the artist to feel comfortable. I don't ever want anybody on my show to be like, yo, I ain't feel like this. Like, we just did a interview with somebody, I won't say his name, but it didn't go out correct. Someone yelled out something from the crowd that didn't apply to it. He felt offended, and immediately he was like, yo, I think we shouldn't use it. And I was just like, you know what? Maybe you're right.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be offended. I'm an artist. I can't turn on the other side, on this side of the fence, and then not respect how I felt when I was on this side of the fence.
Because then you become an agent.
Then I become an agent.
Not one of us.
Wait, agent is too nice of a word. It's something else we got to use. You become
an interloper.
Yeah, So I won't say the artist's name, but so I said, you know what? You made me lose this amount of money. You made me lose, but I would rather you do the interview and want to post than you to do the interview and you don't post at all.
That's right.
Because it's like, you're not claiming us and we're claiming you, and that's not.
You're here giving people their flowers. You're creating safe spaces for people to come in and want to share their stories.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And to your point that you were talking about with the Jay-Z stuff, we're not looking for new followers. We're looking for new leaders.
Yes. But I just wanted to say how much you mean to the culture, how much I know you're supposed to be giving I'll give you yours too. I can't help it. But this is dope. Just sitting down and just conversing and just talking and just, building, because some of these things I never said before, ever.
Yeah.
And some I have said before, and some need to see it again. But this is dope, man. Like I'm so happy where hip hop is as far as the media concerned. Because like I said, we taking over our own thing.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like I was saying earlier, like Jay's my man. I love it. You know, Kevin Hart, all these people. You know, Gayle King.
People don't even know how Kevin Hart been on a bunch of your records too.
Yes. Yeah. And even Gayle King. Let me just tell you something, Gayle King. You belong on Drink Champs now.
Let's go.
Like, the culture has held you down.
She be at the shack with us.
Yes. Well,
hanging out.
She needs to take some shots of Deleon with me. Take some Ace of Spade.
Yeah.
That's because I seen the culture's reaction. And the culture's reaction was like, damn, you know. I guess sometimes they forget. But the real reaction is, okay, girl, Hove gave you the ultimate swing.
Right.
The ultimate grand slam home run. He gave it to you. Now you got to give it to someone else.
That's right.
Come sit down with the People's Party.
That's right.
Come sit down with Joe Budden. Come sit down with $1 million worth of games.
Or even go on Carisha Please.
Do Carisha Please, girl. Do Carisha Please. Come sit down with my expert opinion.
Yeah.
You know, Drink Champs, you know, I'm just letting you know, I'm making you drink. I'm making you drink. I might pass you a blunt. Shit might get real for you. You know what I'm saying? But
the only reason we ain't smoking in here is because we in wifey spot.
Yeah. I don't got no bud. I forgot to bring bud. But yeah. So that's what I'm saying, man. It's like our culture has to help hold down our culture. It has to be more of this type of love. It has to be more of us visiting each other. And when we have a person like Gayle King, when we have people like that, they should sit down with us too.
No doubt.
If that's what if you're gonna get our culture, which is not to say this is not her culture, it's like of course this is her culture too. But you know you're NBC, ABC, CBS type of journalist. If you come into hip hop, then you gotta give it back.
Yes.
And I think this could be fixed fast.
I agree.
I think listen, how about this? Gayle, do Carisha, please. I would like to see it.
Yo, that would be crazy.
I would like to see it. How about, hey, you don't even got to sit down. Listen, I need to see you get asked some ratchet questions.
Yeah.
You know, and that, because I see how the culture changed when they, you know, not changed, but they seen this. So, that's it. You know, I'm very happy that hip hop media is now being run by hip hop. Like right now, if you was to drop an album, you could do your own show and my show, and that shit would be all over the place.
We've done it. I did that with Diamond D.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's right.
We had Diamond D on my show, and me and Diamond D came to your show, and we dropped that.
That's right. God damn, I forgot about that. Damn, your memory is good. You don't smoke no weed.
I'm on Drink Champs mad times.
Yeah. So that's what I like. At first, you know, people was calling me to critique certain things, and I don't want to critique. I want to take the good. And the good part is, if we stick together a little bit more, we could all help each other in the most tremendous way ever.
Yes, indeed.
You are not my competition. I am not your competition.
I say, this is my sister, brother, cousin podcast.
Yes. What you do is so phenomenal. What we do is so phenomenal. But I'm not butting on your heads. You're not butting on my head.
Not at all. We uplift each other.
Yes,
the better you do, the better I do.
So
vice versa.
I would like for people to understand that. Everyone to understand that. Like, I'm glad me and Joe Budden is great. That's my dude. We call each other and laugh all day. Like he laugh at the shit I do, and I'm always laughing at the shit he do. Cause oh my God, his name is Joe Budden for a reason. He definitely pushed his button.
Right.
He definitely pushed his button. I'm just as proud as $1 million worth of game. You know. Yeah.
Shout out to Wallow and Gilly. What they do is special.
I had Gilly on my show, and I told him on the show, you need your own podcast. You need it. And he don't owe me nothing for that. But he actually did it.
Yeah.
He actually went out and did it and got Wallow. And so I'm just so proud. Even Mav Hoffa, like Mav Hoffa, a lot of people don't know, and I'm saying this with the most respect. Like Mav Hoffa listens to me. Like he's one of the guys that asks me for my opinion and he applies it. If I say, yo, he'll be like, and then he'll show me, like, look, NORE, I did it. So to me, that's me giving back. That's me giving the game. So yeah, man. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you guys for having patience. Thank you guys for coming to Juicy Juice Bar, my wife's establishment. Yes, I want to give her props. This was her idea. She pretty much did all the groundwork. I'm so proud of her. I'm so proud that we're here. I'm so proud that we took this time to wait this long to be here. But yeah, I'm so proud that you guys came, man. Thank you guys. 1,000,000%. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, the People's Party is proud and honored to have the great NORE in the house.
Yes, by the way.